Welcome everyone to the December 4th, 2014 meeting of the Falmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is David Haddon. I'm the chairman of the board. To my far right is Terrence Hurry, who's a new member of the board, voting member. Ken Foreman, vice chair of the board. To my left is Kimberly Beelan, who's the clerk of the board. To Kim's left, Mark Coles, an associate member. At the far table, Sari Budrow, our zoning administrator. And next to Suri is Drade Gaisheka, who's our recording secretary. But before I start, I don't want to start off on a sad note, but I just wanted to say how deeply saddened this board is upon hearing the passing of Veronica Zielinski, who was not only a member of this board for quite some time, but she was the chair. She was also, her eldest son was a member of this board not too long ago, left the board, resigned off the board. But I just wanted to make mention of that, and I wanted to take a few moments, just have a moment of silence for Veronica, just to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you very much. With that, let me describe the agenda. Tonight we have 4 continuations, 3 hearings, and we have some miscellaneous open meeting business at the end. I want to describe the board's goals is to have a full and fair hearing through reading information in the file, doing our site visits, through testimony, and reviewing documents presented. Anyone who has an interest in the application will be given an opportunity to speak only to what is before the board. If you are recognized by the chair, introduce yourself, give your address. All these hearings are recorded and televised. Everyone tonight is asked to show respect and courtesy by silencing cell phones. Please do that. Listening to the applicants, witnesses, and the board, refraining from private conversations, refraining from making any derogatory statements, and exiting the hearing room quietly. As we proceed into our presentations, you'll be given 15 minutes to make your presentation. Anybody who's also might be opposed to any application, they'll be given 15 minutes as well. So. The board will ask some questions, we'll review information in the file from the other departments, and listen to some testimony. With that, let me see, we have application 58-14, 115 County Road Realty Trust, and Sari has told me that there's a letter in the file asking for a continuation to January 8th at 6:30, so.
I would move that we continue application 58-14 to 6:30 on, sorry, I wasn't, what date?
January 8th.
Here in Town Hall.
Okay, do you have a
I'll
second?
second that.
Okay, that's Mr. Foreman and Ms. Beelan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. My next application is, continuance is 176 Grand Ave, Falmouth. This application is constructively granted, and because we will be unable to have a quorum. So, on to the next one. Moving right along. Constantine. That's application 77-14. I don't think we read that.
No, I don't.
We didn't read that in the record yet. So,
No.
Kim, will you do that for me, please?
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Janine Constantine of Wayland, Mass. applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals pursuant to Section 240-3E of the Code of Falmouth for a special permit to allow continued use as a multifamily 4-unit structure on a 50,928 square foot agricultural A zone parcel which lies in Green Pond Coastal Pond Overlay District and Bournes Pond Coastal Pond Overlay District, NHES, in the wildlife corridor known as 659 Carriage Shop Road in East Falmouth.
Thank you, Kim. Ms. Constantine, are you and or Jim gonna make the presentation? Okay, ma'am, introduce yourself and give your address, please, for the record.
Janine Constantine, 14 Quincy Road in Wayland. But I'm here to request a special permit under Section 243E for residential use amnesty at my property located at 659 Carriage Shop Road in East Falmouth. As discussed at the Zoning Board, of Appeals meeting on September 11th. I purchased the property at 659 Carrot Shop Road from Hildegard Marchison in November of 1979 as a fully occupied 4-unit complex, and it has remained as such throughout the duration of my 35 years of ownership, along with an additional 7 years prior to my ownership, for a total of 42 years. Evidence that was presented to this board on September 11th at that meeting
We're just
included...
gonna,
Should I do a summary of that?
no, we're just here, this is
Oh,
a
okay.
whole, this is a whole new deal. We're not
Oh,
talking
you
the
don't
bill.
need the past evidence, okay.
Nope, just new
All right.
application.
Okay, so to address, in response to the request for a special permit, to address Section B of Article 243E in regards to rent ratio amounts, the current rent amounts for these 4 units are not much more than they were when I purchased it in 1979. The tenants who have lived there very long periods of time. Upstairs has 2 one-bedroom apartments. There's a larger one-bedroom apartment downstairs on the left side of the property as you face the property, and a smaller efficiency unit on the right side of the house as you face the property. There's a good-sized storage unit in the middle where the 4, and I think you have a sketch, where the 4 furnaces and the water heater are stored, in addition to a few of the personal items and common area necessities. The rents for the 2 upstairs apartment are $625 per month. I pay the electricity and the hot water bill. The larger downstairs apartment is $700 a month. The smaller unit, the efficiency, rents for $500 a month. Again, I pay for the electricity and the hot water for all units. As for the longevity of the current tenants, Arnold Andrade moved in 2000 or 2001. He's here 13 to 14 years ago. Skip Gondrus initially lived in the efficiency apartment, the smaller apartment, for a period of 5 years, beginning in 1993. And in 1998, 5 years later, he moved to the larger upstairs apartment, where he has lived for an additional 16 years. And Skip is also here. Skip moved his father, Alan Gondrus, into the larger downstairs apartment, and I believe he's lived there 3 to 4 years, but he's also here. Tom Gibbons moved in 2005, 9 years ago. Tom lives in one of the upstairs apartment, and Tom wrote a letter, but because he's not feeling well enough to read it, we can read it, or I did give that to you earlier. And Tom's here as well, but he's a little under the weather. All 4 tenants are present this evening, and would be happy to verify those rent amounts and answer any questions you might have.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
I'm not really done, do you need?
Go right
Okay,
ahead.
in regards to the deed restriction information, as requested under Section 2B of this Article 243E, I realize that if this special permit is granted, and assuming I'm able to afford the necessary requirements and regulations, a deed restriction will be recorded in the Barnstable County of Deeds stating that 1 or 2 of the units will be rented to households with incomes of 80% or less than the median income range, and that the annual rents may not exceed 30% of this median income range. The current HUD guidelines for median income in Barnstable County is $45,000. 30% of that annual rent amount is $13,500 per year. That calculates to a monthly rent of $1,125 a month. Clearly, that's far more than my current rents of $500 a month, $625, and $700 a month. I also acknowledge that a yearly affidavit will be needed and submitted to the zoning board regarding the rental amounts of these units, and I know that needs to be filed at the Registry of Deeds. As far as the consistency of rental use, Section C of this Article 243, the only lapses to the rental of these units since I've owned it have been for interior renovations. I mean, obviously with those people have been waiting to move in. No additional lapses have occurred aside from internal renovations between tenants. As evidence of the consistent use of this home, I have a letter from my CPA of 35 years, which is Mr. Ed Heelan, stating that I have declared and paid taxes on the multifamily property since its purchase date in 1979, and Ed has been my accountant since that time. That letter is, should I read that letter, or? I know you have a copy.
No, we're all set.
Okay. I also have a letter from a past tenant, Anthony Perry. Anthony lived at this property for a total of 26 years, beginning in the late 70s. I know I also have a copy of that letter. Anthony is a Falmouth resident and was not able to attend tonight, but I'm sure that he would be available for questions if you needed him. As for the inspection report, I think you have a copy of that.
That's in the file.
And parking is more than ample. There's spaces for at least 10 or more vehicles. There have not been any structural changes to the building itself. The building is as it was in 1979. And as for the neighborhood, there's a 2-unit building next door, 10 to 12 apartments on the other side, and the Falmouth Country Club across the street. And past the 12 units is a construction yard. So that's that agricultural zone that you're talking about. Thank you for your consideration. Anybody have any questions?
Stay right there, I'm sure
Sure.
we'll have some questions for you. Kim, is there any referrals in the file?
Engineering had its standard comment. The Falmouth Fire Department had a comment letter, which was appended to Eladio's letter.
Yes.
So I believe that's already been received. Just requirements for carbon monoxide and smoke detectors pursuant to the section of the bylaw.
Yes.
Building has no comment, besides the letter that they had already submitted. Marine and Environmental Services had no comment, and Planning had no comment.
Okay. Kim, you want to start us out?
Sure. I just have a couple of questions for you. How long were the lapses in the interior renovations?
Oh, never more than a month.
Okay, so it was short term.
Yeah, just in order to get it ready for the next tenant. Repainting, maybe doing some flooring.
So
Placing
besides that, for the 20 years, from 1994, January 1st, 1994 to the present, they've been occupied, every unit?
Far more than 20 years, 35.
Right, but our purview under the bylaw
Yes, I
is
know
the 20
that.
years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's my focus. So
Yes,
each unit has been rented for
absolutely.
during that period? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for right now.
Okay. Mark?
No questions?
Terrence?
Most of my issues have already been addressed, exception of one. We're not talking about any summer rentals, these are year-round.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just, the letter that's in the file from the accountant states, if I'm reading it correctly, that he's prepared your tax returns, but it doesn't state anything that I saw about the rental income from this property.
The annual rent income? I could
don't-
have him.
I don't believe so. Does it?
No, I could have him go back and do that, but I have one of the tenants that's here has lived there for more than 20 years, so I have a actual person that can speak. In addition to, but I'm sure Ed would do that for me, no problem. It would be fairly consistent, it runs about
Yeah.
$25,000 a year. It's not a lot, given what the
I just
current
think
rents
that's,
are.
more
Crux of the
definitive, kinds of information to ensure that you're in compliance with the bylaw. I'm not doubting that
I
you
know,
are, but.
I have a real person.
Yeah.
So, but I could get facts and figures if you'd like, no problem.
Okay.
I mean, with those kind of rents, I have never had a problem renting. Matter of fact, usually one person will line up another.
Right. Okay, well, I think you did a good job addressing most of the issues in the bylaw, so.
Thank you.
That was my only concern. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions for you. Can you speak to, or maybe somebody else can help you out, just speak to what the building commissioner, the upgrades he's looking to get
Sure.
through there? And if you've started any of that work?
No, I wouldn't have done that till I had the special permit.
Let's talk about some of the things he's trying to have you accomplish.
He wants me to hardwire the smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. I've always had them in there, but he would like those to be hardwired. Well, the paddle fans just need to be raised. Outside light globes were missing, and the electrical panels not sufficiently marked. I'm eager to do some electrical work there. I'm just waiting to see what an electrician's going to say as far as upgrades go and whatnot. The heating system has been upgraded. The egresses have always been there, but he'd like to see them shored up with a, is it a riser that he needs? So he needs a little bit more, but Jim's has always taken care of the properties, and he's ready to do that. And one of the tenants had trouble opening the slider to get out in the back, so we'll fix that. It's actually already fixed, that's no problem. Well, that's pretty much it that I can see. He wrote, overall, the apartments are in good condition, heating system's been upgraded, they provide necessary and affordable housing. So,
Okay. And how many bedrooms is the entire?
the upstairs the upstairs are one bedroom each, downstairs is one bedroom each, and to the right is an efficiency. So
So
three
four.
one-bedroom apartments, and then the efficiency is an efficiency apartment.
So, one bedroom?
Yeah, studio.
Okay. And separate utilities? You just said you paid, you still
I
paying?
pay the electricity, they
You
pay
pay
their own
everything?
heat. No, they pay their gas bill, they pay their own heat. When I separated that in 2006 with permits for the town for 4 units. I mean, there's been nothing done dishonestly. Everything's been out front and open, but in 2006, that system was split and the tenants pay their heat. I do pay the electricity and hot water.
So only since 2006, each of the 4 have been paying their own
Right,
gas?
that's
Okay.
right. Yeah, when the gas company offered those incentives.
Mhm. And the septic system, is that,
Septic system is, I'm sure it's, I have it pumped every year by Rabisa Subsurface. I've never had anything said to me that it's a problem. The tenants can speak to the fact that there hasn't been a problem. Whether it's up to snuff with Title V, I'm sure that may not be the case.
okay.
I don't know.
Anybody have any further questions? Go ahead, Mark.
This is just a general question, and maybe Suri could answer this, but one of the requirements, and Ken brought it up, documentation submitted certifying the income level and the rent. That's supposed to take place on an annual basis. Are we supposed to specify time to do that?
It'll be at the close of this when it's filed with the town clerk.
And
That'll start the yearly, and we calendar it and contact them if we don't hear from them.
Any other questions?
I have a question for Saray, too, about the 80% income restriction. That's for every unit? Or is that should be for every unit,
Yes.
right? Okay. Because I thought I heard 1 to 2 households, but I might have misheard.
Oh, you mean,
For
you'd
the-
have to read 243E.
Yeah.
if it's the ones that aren't offered or aren't by right.
Right.
Okay, so
that would-
since 2 would be, or a certain number would be by right. Okay, understood.
And
Anybody
and
else?
I actually had a question about that, because at some point I might want to live in one of them. So I wondered, as far as that law goes, would I still be allowed to, not that I'd ever, probably, chances are I'll be below the limit anyway for rent amounts that I'm charging, but would I have, if I lived in one, how does that equate in that?
I'm sure Sari can answer that for you
At
tomorrow or
another time,
something.
okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure it was addressed.
Okay, any other questions? Sari, you have any questions? Would anybody like to speak in opposition of this application? Would anybody like to speak in favor of this application? Go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name is Skip Gronrus, and I'm the tenant she was talking about that has been there for 22 years.
What, Skip Robbins, is that what you said?
Gronrus,
How do you spell that?
Gronroos.
Okay.
And I've been there 22 years. Been very happy there. I mean, there's been no problems. And the place has always been occupied. I mean, as soon as somebody moves out, somebody else moves in. And as a matter of fact, I got my father to move in downstairs when I opened up, so he's been there for 6 years. And that's about it. I mean,
Anybody have any questions for Skip?
Can I just confirm, so all 4 units have been occupied consistently for 20 years? That's
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And which unit you live in, Skip?
I'm upstairs in Unit 2.
Can you verify?
Okay, any other questions?
Serene?
Can you tell us what you pay in rent?
$625.
Thank you.
Thank you, Skip. Anybody else like to speak in favor of this application? Go to Mr. Lamb.
I'm Jim Lamb, longtime friend of Janine's, 59 Emerald Lane, East Falmouth, Mass. And I'm not speaking for myself or for Janine, but I'm speaking for Tom, who's fighting a tough sore throat. And he simply writes, I'm just going to do his first paragraph.
And Tom, you're referring to who, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Tom?
I'm sorry. I'm Jim Lamb.
No, I know, but...
Speaking for Tom Gibbons.
And he is...
Tom is the upstairs right tenant, of whom Janine spoke as having been there for 9 years, Tom? That's right. Okay. Tom, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, verifies that he is 78. He fears for his future, does not want to be on the street. He believes that he has no complaints. He lives there comfortably. He does have the spit and polish apartment there. So we'll give Tom an attaboy for housekeeping and good citizenship. So that's it, speaking for Tom. Thank you.
Any questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Would anybody else like to speak in favor of this application? Go ahead, sir.
I'm Arnold Andrade, and I've lived at the apartment for 13 years, and I have no problems. Rent's reasonable for me, and I can afford it, and I'm 69 years old, and I don't want to be in the streets.
How long did you say you have been there, 13 years?
13 years.
Do you remember if he's
13 or 14.
Did you know who was in?
No.
Any questions for Lionel?
I'm sorry, what was his first name?
Arnold.
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 Thank you.
Excuse me. No? Thank you very much, Arnold. Would anybody else like to speak in favor of this application? Jeanine, I just have a few questions for you. Mr. Foreman mentioned that he's going to need some information from Mr. Heelan in regards to what you paid tax-wise towards these rents, so.
Even with Skip here.
Documentation of the
Of the rents
rental
paid.
income.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
not the taxes.
Also, well, so we know you're going to come back, but do you have any leases?
No. I do leases for the first year, and these
You
guys
know-
have been there a very
You know,
long
we
time.
kind of need some information, so
You have firsthand information. I
Well, I
mean, I
think-
did not think that anything else would be.
but I'm just asking you, so when you do come back, I'll give you some,
And I have to come back with rent monies, with the accounting from Mr.
well, we're
Healy?
looking for some information for
Okay.
starters from your
All right.
accountant, so.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we could...
Do you have any other questions for anybody? Maybe we
Well,
can
so
just-
my question actually for the board perhaps is,
Want to talk about it?
if we were to make the approval contingent upon the receipt of documentation from the accountant of the rental income over the prior, the period of time from, what is it, 94 or something? Then that would be sufficient. We want to be sure that there's a standard of proof that's part of all of these approvals.
And part of the record.
It's not that
Okay.
we doubt the veracity of,
All right, thank
obviously
you.
your tenants love you and you've done a great job.
It is a
So, hold on a
requirement of
second.
the bylaw.
So we don't have any more questions for Janine, so
No.
let's delve into some discussion then on this.
Okay.
How's
Yeah.
that?
And unless anyone else has questions.
No,
I think so.
just to speak on what you had said, Ken, That is a requirement per the new bylaw.
Right.
And so just to make you aware that we need more
We're having a discussion
documentation.
now amongst ourselves.
More documentation than what exists in the file right now, or verbal testimony,
Correct.
just to satisfy the bylaw.
I mean, Ed's letter is nice, but missing the critical bit of information we need, that's all.
Okay.
You have any thoughts on?
Yeah, my thought coming in, I agree, the documentation of additional rental income, I would be fine approving today and conditioning our approval on receipt of that. My thought coming in was that there wasn't enough in the file as far as continuous use in every unit since 1994. I think the file was great up until today about saying this is a 4-unit building, but I thought for the past 20 years, where our focus needs to be, has to be a preponderance of credible evidence before us. I don't think that we had that, but I appreciate the testimony and people coming in and speaking about it, and I think that we do have that now. I think we have, 2 accounts of 3 accounts even of continuous use, and I think with the additional information, I think that we're in a good position to approve it.
So you're gonna wanna see from Janine's accountant is some documentation saying she's received incomes
For
over the last
the
20
4
years.
units, yes.
Not that she's rented the place, but,
Right, something more specific.
yeah, okay. That's what you're looking for, right?
Exactly.
Terrence, any
I
thoughts?
agree with Kim.
Okay,
Just
so-
for my own clarification, Suri, you might be able to answer this because this is a new bylaw. What takes place with regard to the deed restriction or covenant that has to be recorded?
I help her with the language. It goes to Frank Duffy for approval. It goes to the town manager for signature after Frank Duffy approves it. She files it with the Registry of Deeds and gives me a copy of it. Just like any other covenant or deed restriction the board places.
I was thinking that, but I thought
Yeah.
this is new, so. All right.
That said, are we looking
So
for a
you're gonna-
motion?
So you're gonna want her to provide a letter to Cerise. Cerise gonna,
Yeah.
she's satisfied with that, you're feeling good about it?
I am personally okay.
Okay, so I'll look for a motion from you then.
I move that we close this hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, that was Mr. Foreman and Mr. Cool to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous? Okay. Ken, would you like to make a motion?
I could make the motion that we approve the application, 77-14.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Foreman and Ms. Beelen, all those in favor
No.
of? Oh, excuse me.
Conditions.
Findings.
Findings
Findings.
first.
Findings. So, we can find that there's been an inspection by the building commissioner and recommendations for improvements to the property to comply with the code.
243E.
And we've certainly heard testimony as to the occupancy of the rental property and the modest nature of the rents. Are there any other findings anyone can think of?
Well, the 240, 216, but those are part of the 240-3E anyways.
But not 240, 216J?
J, yeah, that's what we've
Is
done
that right,
last.
Sue?
It doesn't meet J.
Right, but the other, right.
What's J, adequacy of the way?
It's affordable.
Affordable housing.
It has to be on the housing inventory and monitored. This is an amnesty bylaw, so that wouldn't go
And
in.
like
Right.
Sari was mentioning, the applicant's going to submit a draft of the deed restriction.
Right.
Well,
That's
that would be,
just in terms
that
of-
would be a condition.
Right.
You're right, that's a condition. So, I think those are the primary findings.
Building commissioner do an inspection of these,
They've done it.
Yeah, they've done
They've
it.
made that the
no, they're
finding.
corrected. Oh, you made that, oh, you already made that?
That's all part of
Okay.
their ballywax. When this is
Yeah.
done, they have to get their building permit,
So then the conditions.
and we have to sign off on it.
Do you have any other findings you want to? Okay, go ahead, Ken.
The conditions basically are as stated in 243E, that there be a deed restriction filed,
Reviewed by town council.
reviewed by town council,
No more than 4-bedroom.
No more than 4 units
four
and 4
units,
bedrooms.
right.
No, but there was testimony that it was 4
4
bedrooms.
units and 4 bedrooms. You should do both.
Okay.
4 units, 1 bedroom per unit.
Uh,
Maintain the criteria under 243E.
Yep.
Obviously, those.
No summer rentals or commercial accommodation, rentals for commercial accommodations as,
And then comply with the building commissioner's letter.
Modifications, yeah.
Required modifications, and the fire departments, which are a part of that.
And also, we're gonna need, obviously, that letter by,
and it's contingent upon receipt of letter from the accountant stating the.
showing there's actually been rents
the rental
collected there
incomes.
for the last 20 years.
Right.
Not just a rent, but 4 rents.
Do you want him to confirm that he has done, I mean, are you looking for rental amounts on a yearly basis, or what exactly are you looking for?
I think
Just
Well, there was-
verification that,
that would certainly be the best evidence.
what's
I think.
that? I'm sorry.
The rental amounts
Okay.
would be the best evidence, if he has that.
Okay. That it?
We leaving anything out? Is that everything you think?
Okay.
Okay, so
That's
that
the
was
motion.
Mr. Foreman and Ms. Beelan. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Janine? Thank you very much.
Unanimous, you're gonna say
Unanimous.
Okay.
I am gonna say unanimous. Here you go. Come in for you. I'll take that plan, TJ, when you get a chance.
Just one more question, do I come forward to you with that information?
With Siri, you can see
Yeah.
Siri when you get a chance.
I'll email you tomorrow what you need to do.
Yep. Okay. You're not a virgin anymore.
Okay, next application is application 78-14.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll be recusing myself.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Foreman, Mr. Cool, will you
I will.
be the clerk of this next?
I will.
When you get a chance, just read that into the
Yep.
record, please.
Okay, so this is bylaw. Other one.
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11, Chapter 4A of Massachusetts General Law, you are hereby notified that Cumberland Farms Incorporated of Framingham, Massachusetts, applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals pursuant to Sections 240-51B3, 240-18-1, and 240-3 of the Code of Falmouth for a special permit to remove existing service station building, eliminate auto repair and U-Haul operation, and construct a convenience store, maintaining the existing self-service gas pumps and canopy on 2 Business 2 zone parcels that lie within Little Pond, what's the CPU?
Coastal Pond
Coastal
Overlay
Pond
District.
Overlay District, and are known as 212 T-Ticket Highway and 10 Figueredo Way in T-Ticket, Mass.
Okay, at this time, I'll ask Mr. Ament to.
Thanks,
make his
Mr.
presentation.
Haddad, members of the board. I'm Bob Ament. I'm a Falmouth attorney. I represent Cumberland Farms, Inc., a corporation that is a operator of many convenience stores and gas stations around the Commonwealth and in other states as well. And with me tonight is Rick Boyle, who's in the back. He's the regional manager of Cumberland Farms. Next to him is Chris Kahn. Now, Chris lives in Falmouth. He manages the Cumberland Farms that's in Wacoit. He's going to become the manager of the Cumberland Farms on T-Ticket Highway, which is the subject of tonight's hearing. Behind me is Reggie Donahue, a professional engineer. His firm, Coastal Engineering of Orleans, has prepared the site plans that we're presenting to you tonight. And also in the audience is Colleen Medeiros in the back. Colleen is another resident of Falmouth. She's a professional engineer, and she works for McMahon Associates. They are traffic consultants, and they have submitted a traffic report relative to this application. There's been a gas station at 212 T-Ticket Highway since 1967. It was permitted by a special permit issued, I believe, by the Board of Selectmen at that time. And so, as I said, since 1967 when it was built, and since we've had a gas station there. Over the years, there's been a series of special permits issued for changes to the operations. There's been, for a period of time, a car wash on the property. There's been automobile sales on the property. In 1988, the existing canopy was allowed to be constructed in its present location. Actually, the permit said 30 feet back from Route 28. Its plans indicate it's 29.2 feet back. That'd be protected by the passage of time, or perhaps there was a widening of the road. I actually haven't checked. And most recently, about a year ago, the board approved a U-Haul operation, that is a depot for U-Haul trucks, on the property, which was expanded to include a second lot along Figueredo Ways. So there are two lots of record, but they will be merged to accommodate the proposed convenience store building. So the plans that we have submitted include an existing conditions plan, which show the location of the existing building, that is the gas station building, and the canopy, all on the portion of the property that was on the L-shaped lot in the front along T-Ticket Highway. And this is the property in the rear, which at one time had a house on it and is now vacant. And this is primarily where the U-Haul operation is today. So continuing with existing conditions, this is a aerial photograph that shows the property. Don't get confused because, as you know, the assessor's maps are not entirely accurate as to where they show property lines, because this building is actually entirely on this front lot. So this line is off a little bit. But this shows the U-Haul trucks in the back, and it shows the amount of parking and activity that's on the property. When I was visiting the site in late September, before the hearing that was initially scheduled at the beginning of October on this case, I counted 32 vehicles parked on the property, not counting any of the vehicles that were there for the fuel operations. So it's a very busy operation with the repairs, the full-service gas station that's there, and the U-Haul operation. So those are the only two activities there now. There's no longer car wash, there's no longer car sales. And the proposal, again, is to keep the canopy and the gas station, the retail gas sales, which would be self-serve, and then put a new building farther to the back of the site, about 60 feet from each property line, actually about 60 feet from the rear line as well, and I think it's about 110 feet back from the street. So right in this area, as shown on plans that have been submitted to you, like this one, that show the new proposed building a little bit under 4,000 square feet in footprint, a one-story building. And the plan shows adequate parking around the property, the flow of traffic, more landscaping on both sides of the property, narrowing of the curb cuts, so general improvement of the property. And the building that's proposed will look like this. I was really pleased when I saw these plans. They are in keeping with the design of other buildings recently approved in that area, the CVS on Davis Straits and in East Falmouth, and the Town Fair Tire Building, using more traditional lines and materials. So that's what the front of the building is proposed to look like. The only nonconformance existing on the property is the fact that the canopy is 29 feet back from Route 28, and the zoning bylaw would require a front yard setback of 35 feet. And that's not changing, neither the use of it, nor of course its location. A convenience store in a B2 zoning district, Business 2, is a by right use, and its location, of course, as I've indicated, complies with all of the setbacks. But the property operates as a gas station, and the gas sales will continue by special permit, again, going all the way back to the 1960s. And our zoning bylaw provides that even when you add a by right use on a property that is subject to a special permit, then you need to modify that special permit. And so we're here for that reason, to have the convenience store allowed. And of course, there'll be at least some cashier operations inside the convenience store that relate to the sale of gas. This project's been reviewed by the Planning Board under site plan review. You have a copy of the Planning Board's decision. All concerns of both the Planning Board and the Town Engineering Department were met. The plan was changed a little bit in response to issues that were raised. In addition, we've been to the Design Review Committee, and the Design Review Committee is seemed very pleased with the plan, and they've submitted a letter to the Planning Board, and I'm not entirely sure, perhaps Sari Boudreau can help me out, whether you received a copy of the Design Review Committee's letter. Not being sure that you did, I have a copy to file with you indicating their approval. In addition to the plans I've already described, we have a landscaping plan that's been submitted to you, and that's this plan. Among its features, as I indicated, are widening of landscaped areas on both sides of the property and the narrowing of the curb cuts. This open area toward the rear of the property will all be landscaped, and access to the property from Figueredo Way, which is a right-of-way that's actually part of the property. It's an easement area that serves several houses farther to the north. I think it's north. There's no access from it. That was a change that was made at the request of neighbors and the Planning Board, but it actually increased the opportunity for additional landscaping. There'll be significant additional landscaping along the existing fence that's in the rear and also on this side of this property. The business zone goes all the way into the next property up Figueredo Way. There's a very little portion of the property, which by the way is owned by the Frizzacco family, and Jim and Bill Frizzacco are here tonight. But the house on this property is not shown on this plan. It's about 65 feet away from this property line. There's already a fence, as I've indicated. There's already landscaping. That landscaping will be enhanced further. All in all, this is a proposed use that the new use is allowed in the bylaw by right. We require a special permit. We're adding it to the motor vehicle service station, that is the gas sales. It's a significant improvement to the property. Has received the support of other town boards. We're not aware of opposition to the proposal, and we commend it to you and hope that you'll agree and grant the requested special permit. Now, all these experts, consultants are here to answer questions if you have any, Mr. Donahue and Ms. Medeiros. And so we turn it over to you. Thank you.
Mark, would you
Sure will.
read the referrals into the record, please?
Referrals. I'll leave the planning board review to last. Fire department. After review, the plan recommends the installation of a fire alarm system in the proposed convenience store, along with a Knox box key entry system for emergency after-hours access to the building. Depending on if new fuel tanks are installed and where the controlling mechanism for the fuel pump is located, the new building may have to meet requirements of 527 CMR Massachusetts Fire Prevention Regulation concerning the installation of new fueling facility. And now we get to the planning board's comment.
Conditions.
What's that?
Just the conditions on the first or second page.
But are you looking at the October 3rd memo from Brian Curry?
You read everything in that file.
I did.
Anything, we're familiar with the planning board's information. Any other referrals in there?
No, that's it.
That was it? Just
Engineering? What about
Engineering have anything?
It says, see attached planning board review. So all the comment was made.
I never heard Steve.
And that's all been addressed, which Bob can address.
That's
Okay
it.
then. All right, thanks, Mark. Ken, you want to start us out
Well, I think it is a big
With a question?
improvement, and I will have a question. And so my only concern is the actual flow of traffic on the site. And if you could describe what that is, whether it's, two-way or one-way, or what the general direction is.
So this is Reggie Donahue, a professional engineer.
Let me go to the site plan. Okay, the site has two proposed curb cuts on T-Ticket Avenue to replace the existing curb cuts. They will both be two-way. There'll be a loading zone in the area of the tanks for loading the tank. There'll be two-way traffic around the site, 24, 25-foot width. As part of the planning board review, traffic calming device was installed in the area of the pedestrian walkway connecting the adjacent property. But the width of the ways and the drives around the building and the canopies will allow for two-way traffic.
Okay. When are the fuel deliveries made, and how will a fuel truck transit the property?
It's my understanding that they will enter in this curb cut, offload fuel on the right-hand side. There'll be a remote fill location adjacent to this area, and then they will transit the site in a counterclockwise and then exit through this curb cut.
So I guess what I'm wondering is why wouldn't, at least, I can see why you need two-way in and out at the roadway, but I'm not sure why you need two-way traffic beyond the front of the building. Why that couldn't be essentially one-way traffic.
In this area?
No,
Behind.
where it goes past the building on,
Oh, in this area?
yeah, on the north and south sides of the building.
Well, I think it improves safety and traffic circulation, allowing two-way traffic in that area.
Who's parking back there?
You'll have employees as well as customers. Primarily, the customers will be parking out front
Yeah.
and at the pumps, the dispensers. Then there's additional spaces in the rear here for employees and additional customers in the back were provided in order to comply with the requirements of the zoning bylaw.
Mr. Chairman, let me add that the issue of the traffic circulation for trucks, particularly concerned about both emergency trucks, but even the larger fuel delivery trucks, was an issue taken up by the planning board and by the engineering department, and at their request, plans were prepared by McMahon Associates that show the movement of vehicles both ways around the building and for the fuel delivery operations. I see that you have a copy of that.
And I don't see the fuel delivery.
Do you want to explain where the fuel delivery is?
But I heard his explanation, but
Good evening. Figure 1, if you refer to, shows the fuel delivery truck, and that is a Cumberland Farms actual truck we have in our files for AutoCAD, and that truck is owned and operated by Cumberland Farms, and they so we can dictate the actual movement through the parcel. So it's not going to it's going to be a driver every day doing this route, and it's an employee of Cumberland Farms, so that's why they can enforce the route. And we've dictated on Figure 1 the movement the truck will be doing, be left in, coming from, I guess that's the south, and then circulating through the site. The trucks dispense on the passenger side for safety reasons when they offload, so that's why they need to enter the...
Can you illustrate this on the plan?
Sure. Figure 1, we have the truck heading northbound, taking a left in at the northernmost driveway.
Okay.
Because that's where the pumps are located. And then they offload from the passenger side of the truck. And then they will be circulating around the rear of the building and exiting at the southernmost driveway. Just to stay away from, this is going to be a busy area with pedestrians, so just a safer movement for the larger vehicles to go in the rear.
What time are these deliveries usually made?
Usually, definitely off-peak, because, but that can be dictated by the board and through Cumberland Farms.
Well, what would be acceptable parameters for that in terms of?
I am not sure of the current operations. If Rick?
Yes. Rick Boyle. Good evening, Rick Boyle. I'm a region sales manager with Cumberland Farms. At many of our sites, we have restrictions and conditions that have been requested by the different boards for deliveries in order to avoid peak periods for gasoline deliveries. So that's not unusual. As Colleen explained, the drivers and the trucks are our equipment and our team people, and we are able to work with them. They have computerized plans on the truck that show the flow that's been approved and conditioned for each site, and offloading and onloading instructions and all that goes with it. So as far as times go, that would almost be something, if you wished to condition, you could. We don't seek to be there in peak periods. The truck drivers don't seek to do that either. It goes community to community. Typically, we avoid deliveries between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., and also 4 p.m. through 6 p.m. or so. And so otherwise, unless there was a restriction about not having deliveries take place overnight, those sorts of things, if there's no condition to that, then those would be scheduled during the off-peak times, both for customers and the convenience of the neighbors.
The size of this site being well over an acre really gives us a kind of flexibility which doesn't always exist in designing for deliveries. But the width of the ways on each side of the building are designed so that the truck can be on the site and not blocking access either to the pumps or to the building. And yet the lot coverage on this property by structures, make sure to get it right, it's only 10.5% for the fuel area. The canopy is in addition, but as you know, it's well below what's permitted, and the total lot coverage on a business-owned property can be 70% on a business 2 property, and this is 64%. So, it's a site that seems to work and allows for the vehicular movements quite well. And it's been reviewed by the engineering department and the planning board.
So I guess the last part of my question is, what happens if this, how large is this truck? What is this truck?
We don't have the exact dimensions. It's a typical fuel tanker truck.
Okay, 18-wheeler type.
Yeah, definitely.
So what happens if that truck is proceeding as you described and a car is coming the other way? Can they pass?
Coming on site?
Coming the other way from the rear of the property?
Yes, the truck will hug in towards the curb and park along there but leave room to access the
Right, but then the
manholes.
truck's going to move forward, right?
Correct. Oh yeah, the truck will be sitting here, it won't be way up here.
I tried to explain that there was wide enough so that a car
I
could
just want
pass
to get
the
it
truck.
in the testimony that, should that then be proceeding, what is that, westward to the rear of the property if a vehicle is exiting in the same, in the eastward direction, they can pass at the sides of the building?
Yes.
Okay. Those were my concerns and questions.
Terrence, you have any?
Yes. The gas tanks, the storage, will they be the existing or will new ones have to be installed?
There will be one new tank installed.
Mark?
Yes, maybe, let's see here. Chris, just for a benchmark, taking off on Ken's question about hours of delivery for the fuel truck, is the Requoit store restricted at all? There was a Chris that was the operator.
Do you want Rick Boyle? would you
Either
like
or,
Chris?
whoever has that information. Were you ever given a restriction, or what's typically the hours of delivery for the fuel trucks?
Sorry, Chris Cron, East Falmouth. My current location, the only restriction I have is what Rick Boyle stated, between, well, mine's like 6 to 9, or 4 to 7. But I have deliveries at night. I mean, besides that, there's no other restrictions.
Okay, all right. Other questions I have, snow removal plan.
We haven't prepared a snow removal plan, but
Would you?
my understanding is the proposal would be to push it into the green areas and adjacent to the parking area. And if there is excessive snow, there is sufficient area on the site to push it off to the side, and there's no.
So storage of snow would be on site?
Yes.
I mean,
There would be no proposal.
given a normal snowfall?
Yes, yeah, would be kept on site, and being Cape Cod, I didn't hope we'd be around too long.
Let's hope. Hours of operation.
The hours of operation are proposed to be 24/7.
Remind me of the stockade fence on the west side, the height of that again?
I believe that fence is 6 feet high existing, and it's in pretty good shape.
It is 6 feet.
The current vegetation that exists on that border, and Bob, you had said, just for clarity's sake, 65 feet is the closest neighbor residence on the west side?
The neighbor's house is 65 feet away from the property line. That's correct.
All right. And then, so the vegetation that is proposed, so they're going to take out what's currently there?
No, they're going to supplement it, and what's currently there includes a couple of substantial trees. They'll stay.
Yeah, because I was out there, and there's a huge holly that acts as a nice buffer there.
No, that's going to stay.
That'll stay, okay. How often will the dumpsters be emptied? Or what's typical, I should say? We can always condition that, I realize that, but.
Yeah, I think what's typical is dumpsters tend to get emptied between 5:30 a.m. and 7.
Every day?
No. We actually do, in the season, you'll increase to twice a week for wet trash, once a week for cardboard, and in the off-season, if you will, once a week for wet trash, once a week for cardboard recycling. And that's in an enclosed, it's in an enclosure, covers, lids, locks.
Okay. Got that. And could you point out on the site plan map where the bike racks are proposed?
Worse, I believe, in this area, adjacent to, don't see them on this plan.
So if it's not on the plan, your proposal is to go where?
Adjacent to the air station and the western walkway.
All right, and one looming question I've had, I reviewed the, and this is for Colleen, I guess. I reviewed the traffic study, and it said peak hour estimates on, during the weekdays, morning and afternoons, and they were given estimates. Just out of curiosity, given Cape Cod, given Falmouth, and how busy Falmouth can become during weekends, is there any estimate as to impact during weekend traffic during afternoons and mornings?
We did not look at the weekend data. Typical standard for this type of use, we look at morning and afternoon, but honestly, I do understand the impact with the Cape. Typically, from a generation standpoint, for what this site will generate is similar to what generates in the weekday afternoon peak hour estimates. So that's what you'll generally see during the Saturday. And that was estimated as about 25 new vehicles. So that'd be about 50 new trips in and out. And again, this is the land use is considered convenience. So a large portion of the traffic that is attracted to this site we can classify as pass-by. So it's already on the road, it's on Route 28. They see the gas station, they need gas. They're simply going to turn off on 28 and then return back to the route they were traveling. It's not going to generate a lot of new trips, such as a different development, such as an office would, where you would be attracted to Route 28 when you normally wouldn't. And Cumberland Farms has data too, that a lot of this is based on a convenience on your way home or your way to the grocery store type of deal. So we did not look at Saturday, but we do feel like it's similar to what the weekday afternoons are.
So just for being on the record purposes, your estimate, your professional estimate is that it wouldn't be a significant impact on weekends?
The whole, I think in general, the whole project, there isn't a significant impact just based on, the site reuse is already a gas station, it's going to remain a gas station. They're simply just adding the convenience store, which will attract some new trips, but in general, it won't be a significant impact because generally the use's attraction is passed by, which is the traffic's already on the roadway, and no one's really going to drive down from North Falmouth to go to this Cumberland Farms. There's other
Your
options.
generalization then is only good for the time parameter that you tested, or is it good for weekends as well?
It's as well. As an engineer, we look at the worst case scenarios. Usually when we do is AM and PM, which is what we find typical for Cumberland Farms, but we did not look at specifically at Saturday.
Was there any reason why a Saturday or a Sunday wasn't evaluated?
No, it just from our national standards kind of protocol is we do look at the AM and PM. That was never raised to us during our talks with the town. We looked at an average in a summer period during those times, though. So we did account for the summer variation.
Good thing you're not next to the farmer's market. But that's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Is it Reggie?
Yes.
Right? Did you prepare the plan, the existing site plan?
Yeah, our surveyors prepared the data accumulation plan showing the existing site conditions.
And is this accurate to present-day calculations?
Yep.
Because I was out there and I didn't see the storage trailer, so...
Okay, well, that's a temporary structure, so that may have moved, but it is a current plan. There was some changes done since the survey was just recently in the last year, and that would not be reflected in the plan.
But these lot coverages...
Absolutely.
Are accurate.
Yeah, they're based on, that wouldn't have been counted in the lot coverages because it's a temporary structure.
Did you stake the property prior to the...
Yeah, we staked the property and the building, I think back in September when the initial application was made.
The only reason I ask is when I did I've been out there 2 or 3 times, I was interested in Mr. Foreman's line of question with the flow of how that's going to work, and I had some issues, 'cause I didn't see any, I saw a couple stakes on the ground, I didn't see any paint, so I'm probably going to need that re-staked or something before I can actually bless it, but I'll probably talk about that further.
Well, just to address that, some of the stakes may have been knocked down since then, and also some of them fell within the existing building, so they may not have been visible because they're inside the building.
Okay, thank you.
Typically, the structure would have been staked and the property lines, and that was done. I have photographs that show that.
Yep, thank you. Hey, Bob, while you're up there, could you speak to the parking? How many parking spots and...
Yes, the parking requirement would be 20 spaces. 24 spaces are provided.
And that's including for employees and customers?
Yes, and that does not count the spaces that are at the pumps themselves that would be used by gasoline customers.
But those can't be calculated anyway, right? Could those be calculated into...
There have been a number of similar projects in Falmouth where those were taken into account and were calculated. But in this case, we provided 24 spaces in addition to spaces at the pumps.
Okay. And while we're talking parking spaces, the employees are parking in front of the dumpsters. That's my understanding. Is that correct?
Well, there are 2 spaces that are shown there. So those could be allowed if all of the parking spaces were required, but we've already, as I indicated, have an excess number of spaces.
Okay. And while we're talking employees, how many employees are going to be at this convenience store?
An operation such as been proposed here would have 20 to 24 employees in order to run a 24-hour operation.
That's
At one time.
full-time equivalents.
You need to know full-time.
How how many people will be on site
Oh.
typically?
Okay, typically 4 to 5. In the evenings, overnight would be 2, and from, let's say, 6 p.m. to 11, it would be between 3, it would be 3, no more than that.
Okay. And I know you spoke to the trash, you spoke to the fuel. Delivery for the other goods, when does that typically take place? Maybe, is it Chris? I'll go jump right in there.
Our deliveries are, again, staged and delivered by our team members. We get 2 deliveries per week with a tractor-trailer of all the goods that are delivered from our facility. Our Westboro facility is the distribution center for all frozen products, all bakery products, and all dry goods and that sort of thing. Those deliveries are twice weekly. At this time, it's Tuesday and Friday. It would follow that very same schedule. Those days have been fixed on this end of the Cape for some time now. Those deliveries typically take place in the morning. And I'll keep on that, or you get a very, anywhere between 9 and 11.
9 and 11?
9 a.m. till 11 a.m.
And what size are those vehicles? And tell me where they're going to unload? Show me on the plan.
They would be single-unit vehicles, as you typically see, bread, those type of deliveries, single unit. They'd be parked adjacent to the back door, and they do fairly quick unloads and move on with the loading.
So they'd be parked up against the building, so they'd actually be heading the opposite direction of traffic flowing around the building.
Well, the traffic would be flowing 2 directions, so, yeah, that is correct, yeah.
So oncoming traffic will be...
Well, we'd have to go around them. That's why they typically make their deliveries in off-peak hours.
Typically would not be much traffic going around the building. There's a fair amount of passenger parking, customer parking available in the front of the building. And when you think about it, it's mainly employees who are going to go to the back of the building. They're going to park, and they'll be there for their shift.
Potentially. But then again, potentially you could have the fuel truck, you could have the food guy, it could be busy.
You're absolutely right. You could have a couple of trucks and you could have cars, and this site is as well designed for this amount of activity, I think, as you can imagine.
And while we're talking about food, I don't know who wants to handle that. What are you serving inside there? I'm getting at these picnic tables, so tell me what you're talking about as far as food to go and the need for those picnic tables with this type of food.
It's really the same goods and services that you'd find now at Cumberland Farms, other than here in Falmouth. We haven't yet employed the concept, it's called our AIM concept. The design of the building fits that as well. The only 2 additions, and these are foods that are not, they're frozen and heated to serve. So they're not, there's no extra preparation, there's no extra, Board of Health certifications are required, that sort of thing. You're taking a frozen product, heating it to a serving temperature, and then offering it to the public. And it's got all the holding conditions and that sort of thing that go along with it. But those additions would be both pizza and roller grill items you may be familiar with, both on a breakfast venue, a lunchtime venue, and a hot dog.
So that's the need for the 3 picnic tables I see against the building.
Well, I think it's worth noting that the zoning bylaw specifically provides that incidental sales of food that otherwise might be considered fast food, when it's a convenience store, it does not count as a fast food restaurant. That's in the definition of fast food restaurant in section 240.13 of the bylaw.
But those tables are geared towards the type of food that you were speaking.
That's right. Somebody gets a coffee, it's a nice day, and they'd have a place to sit and rest. You know, right across the street now is the T-Ticket Park. That really will, I think, attract people, and people might get something to eat and have a snack and then go to the park or just get on their way. So it's just a convenience.
Okay. And I'm assuming there'll be
And certainly, as indicated, I think, in the plan, there's no table service or anything like that.
Reggie, so if that picnic area wasn't there, would that appears that it would give you better flow as far as traffic? Am I? Can you speak to that?
Yes,
point,
not
please?
necessarily, because right now, we have a 25-foot wide aisle, which is more than sufficient for vehicles to pass. And if in the case we didn't have that area, we would still have the same width. We typically wouldn't widen them. We've run the templates on this, the templates have been run on the site. In addition, there's approximately 20 feet of green area between the paving and the patio. So if we say were to widen that, which I don't think is necessary, it could be done without affecting the patio area.
Bob, is that patio area for the convenience store? Are we utilizing that for any other, like Dunkin' Donuts or?
Well,
You mentioned T-Ticket.
I'm pretty sure that Cumberland Farms is hoping that it's for their customers and not for the Dunkin' Donuts, which is next door.
So
I have no
that's-
doubt that somebody from Dunkin' Donuts is going to sit there someday, but that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is as a convenience to customers of Cumberland Farms, and I didn't mean to indicate it was a picnic area for the public to come from the park. I thought that it would be a place where customers, the public would go to Cumberland Farms, get something that they have to eat, and might want to enjoy it sitting outside at one of those 3 small tables.
Right. Can somebody address some questions on the landscape? When I was out there, I'm just looking at that canopy, trying to envision how that could be better, and maybe some trees along there, some street trees, which is a bylaw, as I'm sure Bob can attest to. Why not put some trees along there just to soften that light, that canopy? Everybody, like Bob alluded to before, Town Fair Tires saving trees, CVS is doing landscape along those lines, so why not Cumberland Farms?
We could add the trees. The intent of the existing landscape, or the proposed landscape plan, was to supplement the recent landscape plan that was done under the previous zoning board of appeals application. Under the town requirements, there were native, non-invasive species, but if the board would like to see some trees, we can look into that and look at some species that may be appropriate for that location. I'd have to look to see if there's conflicts with utilities. We'd have to look into it. But if the board would like to see some trees in that area, we could look into that.
All right, I know you have, you only have 3 trees on the property that are coming in new, I believe. 2 maples in the back and maybe a pear on the side?
Yeah, there's some trees on the side.
So I'm not a landscape architect, but I'm sure you could, you could figure something out there.
We will re-review that.
All right. Bob, can we talk about the building? That second story, that second floor there, what's that gonna be?
There's nothing on the second floor. It's all simply ornamental, those dormers.
Nothing up there?
No, I don't even think there's storage up there. No. Just mechanicals.
On the roof, mechanicals, inside mechanicals, that sort of thing. And I'm sure the design review spoke to you on lighting in the planning board, but can you just go over that real quick with me?
Well, we do have a lighting plan. We have it here. I think you probably have it. I can speak to that.
Yeah, I need to know that information.
The proposed lighting plan is primarily LED lights. They're down-facing, they're energy efficient. Looking at the photometric plan here, you can see there's little or no impact on adjacent properties. There are down-facing LED lights, canopy area. There are lights adjacent to the entrance. There's site lighting shown on the plan, which are all shielded down-facing lights. And then there are also lights adjacent to the picnic area. And based on the plan that we submitted, the review, we're looking at minimal impact, if any, on the adjacent properties. Most of them are 0 or 0.1. Also note that these are prepared for, these numbers are based on without the landscape improvements. So and take that into account, there'll be little, if any, impact on the abutting properties.
Okay. That's it for me for now. Anybody else have any?
I do have a few more quick questions. What's to be done with the old abandoned cesspools in the property?
The proposal is the existing sewage disposal system components would be abandoned, either removed and removed.
And removed?
And removed, and then there'd be a temporary system put in until sewer is available.
So the old cesspools will be...
Correct. They'd be a conflict with the construction of the proposed building. So in this case, they're underneath the portion of the building. So they would be pumped and removed from the site, backfilled with sand, and then incorporated into the construction area.
Got it. Stop signs for the pedestrian walk both ways?
There was a discussion about the pedestrian access. If you're talking about to the
vehicular traffic stopping for pedestrians, or is there going to be a marking to indicate a stop?
Yes. We have a walkway to connect to the adjacent property, and the plan actually shows the signage and the strip along each side.
Okay.
I just want to add to what Reggie just said and just make clear about the septic system. This property is in the town sewer district, so it will be sewered within a couple of years after construction.
Okay. There was testimony saying that there's going to be one new tank, one fuel tank installed. My question then becomes, you're going to take the recommendation of the fire department with regard to, they're recommending, if that circumstance should arise, controlling mechanism for the fuel pumps, that has to be figured out between the fire department and the location and all that, and meeting the requirements of the CMRs for Massachusetts.
They have Coleman Farms has the design engineers that work specifically on
They'll
those
deal
aspects
with
of
the fire
project.
department.
Anything that they do with regard to suppression, controls, and the proposed tank would be in compliance with the applicable state and local codes.
The recommendation of the install a fire alarm system, is that going to be?
Yes.
Yes, okay. My last question, and I guess just for clarity, Rick, you had said the deliveries, the retail deliveries for Cape are Tuesdays and Fridays?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, that's all.
I had an additional question. Will there be an attendant booth at the canopy where,
No, the proposal would be that the operations for fueling would be monitored from the existing cashier's area. The existing canopy or kiosk would be removed. The canopy would remain, the kiosk would be removed.
follow-up question there, if someone were to have some trouble with their credit card at the pump, what would happen then?
It would be handled like at any other self-serve station. They would go in and deal with it directly with the cashier.
Ken, you have any further questions?
Am I correct in thinking that the 6 cars are the maximum number that can fuel at one time?
Correct. Yeah, there'd be, there are 3 or 6 dispensers, be 6 cars, correct.
Anything else? That's it for me for now.
Bob, I don't know if you want to answer this, but why does this have to be this big? And two-part question, is this similar to the one in Buzzards Bay, the one I've been by a couple times in size? Why can't this, the size of this building be existing?
Well,
Does it need to be this big?
This is,
Why can't it stay the same, and is this similar to the one in Buzzards Bay? So now I can kind of wrap my head around, okay, this is what I'll be looking at in Falmouth.
Rick says that Buzzards Bay is larger. I don't know how much larger it is. As I've already indicated, this structure and the canopy together are significantly less, because it's a large lot, than the building floor area that's allowed, that is lot coverage. The building's less than 4,000 square feet, even if this was a Business 3 district, and it's a Business 2 district. But in a Business 3 district, a 4,000 square foot retail operation is allowed by right. Actually, multiple, no one facility can be more than 4,000. It's a one-story building. It's certainly larger than the existing building on the site, but the Frazzacos purchased the adjoining lot, took a building down, so that this type of expansion and improvement of the property could be accommodated. Obviously, Cumberland Farms must feel that the business is warranted to make the kind of investment and improvements to the property that's indicated. And so I don't see that.
Why does it need to be this big?
What we've been finding with a lot of the projects is the actual retail area is substantially only a portion of the inside building. The idea with these sites is to provide more storage. Some of the existing stores have little to no storage. Having more storage cuts down on the deliveries, cuts down on the traffic, cuts down on the congestion. So that is one of the main reasons that the buildings are this size, in order to accommodate and have less deliveries and be able to store more product inside the building.
Would this building be like a storage area for like another Cumberland Farms type thing?
No.
All right. Anybody else have any? Sari, you have any questions? Would anybody from the public like to speak in opposition of this application? anybody from the public like to speak in favor of this application? Mr. Vizzoco?
My name is Jim Frisocco. I'm one of the owners of the property there. I live at 630 Washington Street in Brookline, Massachusetts. I currently operate the gas station that's there right now with my brother. My brother had to leave, unfortunately. I just want to talk about what we've tried to accomplish here with this project, working with a partner company like Cumberland Farms. We went out, we talked to 7 or 8 different companies. Cumberland Farms has a combination of care, executional ability, operational ability, resources for my family to feel comfortable. We've owned this property now since 1978. We've owned the adjacent property since 1976. We have a vested interest with them in making sure that the area T-Ticket improves. So the goal here is to try to improve T-Ticket and improve our adjacent property. We are trying to come up with the right ideas. We spoke with those folks. They impressed us with their abilities. I've gone and toured a number of their properties around the Cape. I've gone to the Bourne property. I've been up to the property in Dennis that they did. And I just believe they have the ability and the capability to do a great job. And we certainly are going to be very comfortable being with them and running a plaza operation next to them over the next 20 to 25 years. And as far as concerns about space and parking and additional room, we have property next door. We have no problems in working with them. If there's any issues about employee parking, we have ample parking in our plaza next door. Their employees can park over there if they need to. I don't think there's any issues myself, and I'm not a professional. But I don't think there will be issues with parking. But if there are, our family is more than comfortable working with Cumberland Farms to address all of the board's issues and make everybody comfortable that a net positive is going to occur in T-Ticket with this project. So I would just urge you folks to strongly support this and approve this project.
Well, I got you up there. Bob mentioned 2 lots there, and those are going to be merged. When's that going to take place?
I believe, that can happen whenever it needs to happen. I know we've addressed it as a family at one time. I think we were thinking about merging them, and then we decided not to. As far as I'm concerned, this project is going to essentially merge them. Nothing else is going to happen with the 2 properties. There was the front parcel and then the back parcel. So technically, whether they're merged into one or not, that's really, we don't have a problem doing it either way.
Whenever. But
Whenever.
you understand that's probably going to have to take place before this, if this does go forward. And will you be under...
I'm not aware.
Well, this is one of those cases where there really isn't much question about the merger because the building is going to straddle the property line. There are many cases where that happens for assessment purposes, for zoning purposes. The lots will be deemed merged. Is it necessary to record a plan that actually would go to the planning board and have it endorsed? Probably not. If that's a requirement, it's a simple thing to do in this process.
Okay, and Jim, while I have you up there, you said your family owns this, is this parcel be under one business name, allowing Cumberlands to use this parcel,
Right, this
correct?
property is owned by a company called 212 T-Ticket LLC,
Okay.
and it's being leased to Cumberland Farms.
No other?
No.
No other hands in the pie? Okay,
No
great.
other hands, no.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Would anybody else from this public like to speak in favor of this? Okay. So Bob, we had some questions. The truck size, the snow removal, Mark mentioned the bike rack on the plan. Rick was going to look into the trees along the front. What else? What am I leaving out?
Cesspool.
Cesspool was addressed, it has to be abandoned, it's according to regulations.
And Rick assures me that this is an accurate plan, even though the storage trailer's out of this, so I'll take his word for that. But
what I'm really gonna need is that staked out, sprayed, or whatever. I really wanna see the flow that's going around there. It's, especially hearing that the delivery truck's in the back, and now it's going against traffic and all that sort of thing, so that would really be helpful.
When do you anticipate that you'll be making the site visit so we can make sure that it's prepared?
Let's pick a day for the continuation, I can tell you exactly. January 8th?
I don't know, did the board vote that? Is that what the board wants?
What are you thinking?
Well,
Do you have any other-
I certainly think it would be good to take it under advisement and have better marking on the site, yes. I agree with that.
How does that sound good with you?
I agree.
January 8th, everybody gonna be here, 'cause it's all the four of us.
Let's hope it's not covered in snow.
Like
Well,
Tom.
they can stake it any time soon, hopefully, and you guys can go out
Right.
in the event
Yeah,
of that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we had it done in a timely manner where we can have it done within a week or two. But I would anticipate by the 1st that we'd have it done. We'll try to get it done sooner so that if the members want to go by the site and take a look at it, it would be marked.
Reggie, you can just let me know and I can email them, right? When you have
Sure.
it
yeah,
completed?
that'd work,
That sounds perfect.
yep.
Be up to the board to go out at that point.
So, I guess I'm looking for a motion to continue this to January 8th at 6:30.
Could I just ask before you vote on it, you've mentioned a few issues, are there any other issues of concern to the board that you think we haven't addressed that would would affect the board's decision? Or on all other issues that what you've
Yeah,
heard been sufficient?
I forget who it was that made mention of the one in, it might have been Rick, the one in Buzzards Bay.
Can let you know the comparative size?
Yes, that'd work out nice.
Are there any other issues about the operation or anything like that?
Not at this time, I don't.
I was a little leery about the traffic impact not being taken over the weekend, but it is what it is.
I think what Ms. Medeiros was suggesting is that where on the weekend, the traffic actually gets spread out throughout the day more than the traffic that's on that road as a result of peak hours on weekdays during commuting periods. I think that their professional judgment is that the peak hour is during commuting hours on weekdays.
So January 8th at 6:30, is that gonna work for you, Bob?
Yes, sir.
So we need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Terrence, you want to second that?
Second one?
Okay, all those in favor, January 8th at 6:30, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I'll take a 5-minute recess. like to reconvene the meeting. Next application is application 85-14. If you could read that in. Oh,
Mr.
before
Chairman?
we do that?
I'd like to recuse myself from this hearing.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Mr. Foreman's recusing.
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Mass General Laws, you are hereby notified that Michael A. and Eileen L. Spall of Falmouth, Mass. applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals pursuant to Section 240-3C of the Code of Falmouth for a special permit to raise a pre-existing non-conforming one-story, three-bedroom, single-family dwelling and construct a two-story, three-bedroom, single-family dwelling known as 84 Ransom Road in Falmouth, Mass.
Thank you, Ken. Kevin, nice to see you again.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Let's start by welcoming Mr. Hurry, thanking him for his volunteering and presence here. For the record, my name is Kevin Clower. I'm an attorney with Ament Law Firm here in Falmouth. I represent Michael and Eileen Spall, who are here with us this evening. They're the prospective buyers of 84 Ransom Road and the applicants in this matter. I'm joined tonight by Tom Bunker with BSS Design. Mike and Eileen have lived here in Falmouth for many years. They're currently under agreement to purchase this property at 84 Ransom Road and hope to make it their home. But in order to do so, they need to make certain upgrades to the property to make it a better space for their family and to make it into the home they desire. The property has 14,200 square feet or so in a residential B district. It is located on the shore of Oyster Pond off of the southern portion of Ransom Road. The existing house is a single-story, three-bedroom ranch that the assessor's records indicate was built in approximately 1949. The only nonconformity to the property is a 34-foot setback from the 3-foot contour of Oyster Pond, where the zoning bylaw requires a 50-foot setback. Sorry, 35-foot setback, I'm sorry, Tom corrected me. The portion of Ransom Road on the southerly side of Woods Hole Road where this is located is approximately half a mile long and has 20 homes, including some smaller cottages closer to Woods Hole Road. The homes closer to the water and surrounding the subject property are generally larger. The Spalls are seeking to raise the structure and rebuild on the existing foundation. Due to the non-conforming setback to Oyster Pond, this project falls under your purview. The Spalls are applying under zoning bylaw 240-3, which states that pre-existing non-conforming structures may be changed by special permit, provided they are not substantially more detrimental than the existing structure. The bylaw goes on to state that the board should consider the standards of 240-216 and whether the alteration of the structure creates a new dimensional nonconformity, impairs views or vistas, or does not reasonably conform to the average dimensions found in the neighborhood. With the proposed renovations, the existing nonconformity will not be increased. The front and side yard setbacks will remain conforming. Lot coverage by the structure will increase by 0.1% to 12.3%, well under the 20% lot coverage allowed by right. The new structure will have a second floor, increasing the living area in the house, but not resulting in the creation of any new bedrooms. The existing height is approximately 19 feet. The proposed height will be 27.5 feet, well below the allowable height of 35 feet. The new layout and design will provide a substantially more useful and inviting space for the applicants. The size of the proposed home will be in character with the neighborhood. Based on assessor's records, the average square footage of the finished area for the entire street, southern portion, is approximately 2,000 square feet. The average square footage of the 10 closest homes to the subject property is 2,406 square feet. The finished area of the proposed structure will be approximately 2,250 square feet below the average dimensions of the 10 homes closest and generally in line with the size of the other homes in the neighborhood. Approximately 14 of the 19 other homes on the street are at least 1.5 stories. One of the closest neighbors at 74 Ransom is at least 2.5 stories. As mentioned, the height of the structure as existing is approximately 19 feet. The proposed height will be 27.5 feet, an increase of only 8.5 feet and very much in character with the rest of the neighborhood. No view or vista will be impaired. There will be no shadow or other adverse impacts on adjacent properties. This property is in a very unique location. None of the surrounding properties have a direct view of it. The abutter to the south at 90, the only property with a house that actually touches this property has submitted a letter of support for the project. Their views are to the east overlooking Oyster Pond. Directly across the street is conservation land. The neighbor to the northwest has views across the open space to the north of this property. No neighbor has a direct view. The home sits uphill from the street, and there are currently no public views of the water across this land from the roadway. The addition of a second floor will not compromise any public view. In addition, the existing structure is a stucco ranch. The proposed building will be a traditional Cape-style home, fitting much better into the existing neighborhood. The structure is remaining in the existing foundation as to create as little disturbance as possible to the coastal bank, and has already received approval from the Conservation Commission. This project meets the standards of 240-216. The proposed structure will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than currently exists. The project will not cause any adverse effects, or no adverse effects, running on very little sleep with a 2-month-old at home. Where there's no adverse effects at all, there can be
Take a breath, Kevin.
The project will not cause any adverse effects. There will be no new nonconformity created, and the existing nonconformity will not be increased. There is nothing detrimental about this project. When no detriment exists, the detriment cannot be substantially greater than currently exists. The project therefore meets the criteria of 240-3 and should be permitted. I, along with Tom, would be glad to address any questions that the board may have at this time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kevin. Kim, read town referrals into the record.
From Health, the existing basement bedroom doesn't appear to meet the requirements for use as a bedroom under Article 2 of the state sanitary code. 8% of the floor area of the room must be represented as glazed window area. The room only has one window. This room may not be a legitimate bedroom. If the applicant cannot demonstrate that it is, then the septic plan would have to show a reserve area because of the increase in bedrooms. Engineering has its standard comment. Building has no comment, and planning has no comment.
Thank you.
And, there was also one letter from 90 Ransom Road submitted in support.
Thank you very much. Mark, you want to start us off?
Sure. I think one of the referrals from engineering dealt with trimming the bushes for site distance.
Oh.
Did you happen to, are you aware of that?
We're not aware of that, but I don't envision that as being a problem.
That's what I'd like to hear. Stormwater plan, that's good. So what's your response to the health department's concern?
I'm actually going to let Tom address that because he's had a conversation with Dave.
Okay.
I'm Tom Bunker, BSS Design. You see, you should have a plan that's has a revision, dated 2 days ago, or December. There's also a revision November 18th, where it added septic SAS reserve area. And we did this, and I talked with Dave. The time I talked to him, I didn't follow up on it, but I talked to him, and he said he was going up to, right then and there, to go and talk to Suri. So I guess we have to see if he actually did that or not, but...
No, but he tends to
well,
get lost along the way, you know?
I know we've been through this before, and I should have called the next day, but he
So
saw it and seemed satisfied that we do show a reserve area on here that he required, and we dropped it off. I came down and talked to him. He said, yep, it's good. He was going to talk to Suri.
So the reserve area is adequately met, and what's the status of, will it remain a 3-bedroom, correct?
Yes. That was the case. I mean, whether that bedroom was going to be moved up to the top, so it's a 3-bedroom septic system that we did about 10 years ago as an upgrade, but because, well, at that time it went through the Board of Health and it was approved, but now we show the reserve area so that we can actually use that extra capacity.
Right. Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Mark, just as a follow-up to that as well, we do have a passing Title V inspection which does indicate a 3-bedroom system.
Very good. That's in the file?
I can submit it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. That's all I have.
Thanks, Mark. Kim, do you have any questions for Kevin?
Yeah, so just to be sure, now I know we have the passing for 3 bedrooms, but you're planning on putting in the reserve area no matter what? Okay, so that's, whether or not that's a bedroom downstairs, we have a passing?
Yeah, it's not put in, it's just not.
Oh, it's just not, okay.
Developed.
I don't understand this. Okay.
Just shown on the plan.
Okay,
So that they have the
understood, in
capability
case.
to do
Okay.
it.
Need arises.
Okay,
Reserve area is just an equal area to what's shown as the septic system. In case it has to be replaced, there's enough area to put that.
Okay.
So it's not being installed now, it's just, if it
There.
ever fails, there's room to redo it.
okay, thank you. And you're maintaining the 4-foot setback?
Yes.
Okay, so not
35.
increasing that?
35. It's a 35-foot setback. I misspoke at 34. It's not being increased.
Okay, so if that is 35 feet, the setback, I thought that was your only nonconformity.
It is the only nonconformity.
Okay. What's that setback supposed to be?
50.
50, okay, my apologies. 50 feet, okay. That's all,
Thank you, Kevin.
thank you.
TJ, you have anything?
My issues have already been addressed.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, the only change on this plan that I haven't seen until tonight, because I was in on early December 2nd, is that reserve field. That's the only change on this new plan?
Yes, I do believe so. He's just saying the reserve field's the only change on the plan. Oh, Tom did point out there's a bay window, which is here, that was shifted, that was added to the plan, and then shifted slightly to maintain a 35-foot setback.
That first floor bay window?
Yeah. And the second floor balcony as well, but the second floor balcony does not come into the setback area. It's still maintaining the 35-foot setback. The bay window on the first floor also maintains the 35-foot setback and comes no closer than exists.
Is that because it's overhanging?
Yes, it doesn't touch the ground. It's just
Okay.
a bump out on the bay window above the ground. But it maintains the same setback as the corner of the house.
And no new foundation, it's gonna use the old foundation,
Correct.
correct? So same footprint?
Yeah, and we have a structural engineering report, which was already submitted with the Concom, and they went through that exercise to make sure that the foundation was sufficient.
I can point out that both of the bay window and the second floor deck are within their roof overhang. They actually don't project beyond the roof.
Okay, thank you, Tom. And you mentioned the basement, there's not gonna be any sleeping accommodations down there now?
No.
Or ever?
And the way the basement is now laid out, it wouldn't meet the requirements for a bedroom under the definitions.
Any grade changes during construction here? Tom?
There is only a minor grade change that we got through conservation on the
North side.
the northwest side. If you go in there on the left-hand side of the driveway, they're adding a side door to the garage, a person door, and making a little gravel area, and there's a retaining wall. Trouble now too.
Yeah, right, it's contagious.
There's a retaining wall along the left-hand side of the driveway. That driveway is being pushed about 3 feet over to make access, and some steps going up around the left-hand side of the garage, where they're now, the gas tanks are there now, and there's going to be a door. So that's the only grading change, right in that small area.
What's that gonna be?
What's it?
How much we talking?
About 3 feet by, 3 feet wide by 20 feet long, and it's only about 2 feet high, 60 square feet, 120 cubic feet, about
Okay.
5 yards.
Stormwater gonna be contained on the property, dry wells, that sort of thing? I don't see
There
it
are
on.
there are dry wells around conservation. There's no increase. There's still some of the driveway itself is not changing. The roof runoff will be going into the dry wells predominantly in front of the house. and
Through the downspout into a dry well.
Downside in the driveway.
So that's gonna be
reduction.
maintained? That'll be maintained?
Yes.
garbage disposal at this property?
Now with passing Title V.
Speaking of which, obviously this falls in a coastal pond overlay, oyster pond. And let me see, does this satisfy 24099, Tom? I read in here, the reviewing board shall meet all findings regarding analysis and may withhold approval of this proposal if it doesn't comply to standards. They're talking about the nitrogen loads and that sort of thing. And also, Kevin, while I was reading into the file, there was a variance given, I don't know, maybe 2001, I think, and they were mentioned pump to septic every other year, no garbage grinder, shower faucets, and fixtures with flow restrictors, that sort of thing. So somebody was concerned. Also, no modifications to the existing three-bedroom house, no additional bedrooms. So back then, somebody was concerned whether it was this reviewing body or the Board of Health or both.
That was a health variance.
So talk to me about that a little bit.
About the health
Are we still protected by that?
But that variance is ongoing with the property, so for the plumbing code, they have to have the low flow shower heads and the toilets, I think. And I'm not sure about the nitrate loading, but there's no increase in bedrooms on this property, so we're probably neither increasing nor decreasing the nitrate loading on this property.
Okay. So you don't feel a denitrification or some other IA is?
It wasn't, no, it wasn't required when it went through the Board of Health or Conservation a couple weeks ago.
But as I read 24099, Kevin, that isn't the Board of Health, it's this reviewing board, so.
I understand, but I think whereas we're applying under 240-3C, I'm not sure that 240-99 would be.
But you are in a coastal pond overlay district,
Understood.
right?
Yep.
Which, if I'm reading this correctly, oyster pond would be a stabilization area, right, Tom? You're familiar with this bylaw, right, Tom? So are you satisfied that this septic satisfies this part of the bylaw?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I think if you look at Section A of 240-99, it does say all such development proposals listed in 240-98, which is subdivisions greater than 5 lots, commercial development regarding site plan review, and special permit uses filed in accordance with Article 32, which is
Which really doesn't
public and
pertain-
nonprofit housing are for the
Yeah, which
elderly.
really is probably like
So
something
I
that
don't-
we're gonna need to clean up in a bylaw review.
So I don't think that this would, 240-99 would be applicable to this special permit application.
But Tom, back to you. Your testimony is you're content with the nitrates the load not changing with the septic, unless the bedroom was increased, right?
They're not changing. It's been a three-bedroom now, it'll be a three-bedroom, so it's not increasing the nitrates.
Okay. No garbage disposal. And I see you're getting rid of that lower parking area. Was that something that Conservation wanted, that required you to do? Because I don't think we have.
They're actually not eliminating the entirety of it. What they're doing is, it's not shown very well on this plan. On the proposed plan, what they're doing is they're putting in a strip of plantings along the northern boundary of it. And that's a one-for-one exchange for the expansion of the floor plan, expansion of the square footage of the structure. and that was in accordance with the Conservation Commission.
And you said that's only going up .1?
Mm-hmm.
Where on this revised plan, it says .2. I mean, it'll be going up to 20.4 from 20.2.
Coverage by structure, not overall coverage.
Okay, yep. Anybody else have any questions?
No.
Does anybody from the public want to speak in regards to this application? Go ahead, ma'am. Introduce yourself and your address for the record, please.
Wendy
Bless
Bissler.
you.
I'm the Executive Director of Oyster Pond Environmental Trust. I would just like to say that I think this would be a great addition to the neighborhood, that the current house is rather unattractive, and this would be a nice addition to the neighborhood. It does fit in. You brought up the question about the INA denitrifying system, and that's something that we're trying to encourage people when they do redevelop their homes to consider putting in an INA system. It's the pond currently is suffering from too much nitrogen, and it is going under the town is studying how to solve that problem right now. And we think it would go far if we started doing this over time, if every time there was some major reconstruction of a house or new construction, that if people considered at that time putting in an INA system, we could hopefully get to our goal to clean up the pond.
Okay.
Thank you.
Could you repeat your name, please?
Wendy Bissler.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Wendy? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on this application? So do you have any further questions or anything? Okay, so how would, you guys want to talk about this? Close it, talk about it? Go ahead, Mark.
I don't have a problem with any of it, actually. So I'll make the motion to close the hearing.
I just want to ask one thing. We don't have anything from conservation in the file, is that?
The decision hasn't actually been issued yet. We're past the 21-day window with the...
Yeah, I sent you the email stating that they haven't drafted the decision yet.
But we don't have a decision, right? Correct.
It's been made, but we just don't have it.
Is that what I'm hearing, Sari?
Yes.
Okay.
It hasn't been drafted yet.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just address Ms. Vissler's comments.
It was approved. Excuse me.
At this time, there is no plans to replace the septic. The septic is in good working order. There's no need to change it as far as we can see. I think it would be an extra cost for the applicant at this point.
Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Were you making a motion?
So you
Made a motion.
you made a motion to close?
I'll second.
Okay, that was Mr. Cool and Ms. Beelan to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. How would you like to proceed?
I would move that we approve application 8514.
I'll second.
Okay, that was Ms. Beelan and Mr. Cool, so Kim, you have any findings you'd like to?
I wrote some down. No new nonconformities. No increase to existing nonconformities. That they'll be trimming the bushes for the sight lines. That they designated a reserve area on the plans for septic in the event it's necessary. And that a Title V inspection report said that it was approved for 3 bedrooms.
Remain a 3-bedroom.
Yes, remain a 3-bedroom as well. Would be a condition.
Reads 24216.
Right?
Yes.
Testimony that they would maintain the dry wells through for the storm runoff. No sleeping accommodations.
That was testimony, yes.
Right, Sari? In the
I'm
basement?
sorry?
Sleeping accommodations,
They
none in
said
the
there
basement.
wasn't going to be any.
Yep. We're leaving out anything on the findings? I don't think so. Okay, so
Conditions. 3 bedrooms. That's already in
No
the
more
health.
than 3
but-
bedrooms
Mhm.
per plans. This revised plan dated December 2nd.
That's the board stamp, right? Or is it the stamp, the date of the plan revision?
That's the board stamp.
Both? Okay.
Sheree, go ahead.
Again, no sleeping.
No sleeping in the basement. We're gonna need conservation certificate,
Order.
right?
Well, do you want to just adopt their conditions? Because it's been approved, they just haven't drafted it.
I think so.
So do you want
Yeah.
to
What do you think?
condition the approval of that?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to note on the date of the plans, sorry, our board stamp is December 2nd. Their plans are dated September 30th with the last update on December 1st,
Okay, great.
2014.
All
So
right,
that's the set of
thank you.
plans we're looking at.
Sheree, are we gonna need an as-built because of those, that contour line and those additions?
They're using the same foundation, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, no,
I agree.
just clarification. I don't think so either then.
So just, excuse me, just as a clarification, you are adopting Concom's conditions, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's it. You leave anything out? Okay, so that was Ms. Beelen and Mr. Cool. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Tom.
Oh, TJ, you can just pass them down. Thank you.
Mr. Foreman. Kim, when you get a chance, could you read an application 87-14, please?
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Mass General Laws, you are hereby notified that Linda J. Brown of South Grafton, Mass. applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals pursuant to Section 240-3C of the Code of Falmouth for a special permit to construct addition and second floor to the pre-existing non-conforming one-story single-family dwelling, existing detached garage to be eliminated, on a parcel known as 75 Philadelphia Street in T-Ticket, Mass.
Thank you, Kim. Is this you, Peter?
It is.
Okay, introduce yourself, please, just for the record.
Good evening, my name is Peter Monroe. I'm from Barnstable Builders. I'm here on behalf of Linda Brown of South Grafton, Mass., who's the owner of 75 Philadelphia. We're here tonight looking for a special permit under Section 240-3. There's a pre-existing non-conforming structure there. We'd like to add a small addition on the front, on the side of the building, as well as a second story to the building. There was an existing shed-type structure on the property that was removed. It was very unsafe. It had to come down. It was leaning towards the neighbor's property. We did apply for a permit. We have the permit from the building department to remove that. By removing that structure, we've reduced the nonconformity of this lot. On the lot coverage for structures from 29% down to 23%, and including the paving and the parking from 44% down to 38%. The addition that we propose is a 7.5-foot wide by 28-foot long addition on the left side of the house. We will not be increasing setbacks or anything like that on the property. That addition will come out to an existing bump out on the left side of the house. So left and right setbacks and rear setbacks or front setbacks won't be affected at all. The rest of the work of the house will be a general renovation, exterior work and so forth, windows, interior renovations. We'll be removing the existing chimney that's on the structure. The building height of the property now is about 18.5 feet. That'll increase to 24 foot, so it's about a 6-foot increase. You can see on the lower panel there, I showed where the existing roof is to the new roof on that. We believe there's been a lot of construction in this neighborhood, many renovations. We feel this keeps in line with some of the other work that's been done in the neighborhood. We don't feel it'll be a detriment to the neighborhood for the type of structures that are around there. We're not looking to increase footprint very much, simply add a second floor, moving one of the bedrooms that's on the first floor up to the second floor. With that being said, I'll turn it over to the board for any questions.
Okay, Peter, I'm sure we'll have a few for you. Kim, will you read the referrals in, please?
Health. The existing dwelling has 2 bedrooms according to the assessor's records. The plans provided by the applicant show a 2-bedroom structure at the completion of the project, and the second detail shows a, quote, "new storage room." This room would be considered a bedroom by the health department, thus triggering a review of the septic system capacity. No information is provided in the file to support the possibility that the existing system is adequate for an additional bedroom, nor has the applicant sought relief from the Board of Health in consideration of the fact that this property is in proposed sewer extension area. Building had no comment, and planning had no comment.
Thank you, Kim. Mark, do you have any questions for Peter?
Nope. Well, did you receive the correspondence that's now in the file?
I did. I spoke to David Carrigan from the Health Department. I spoke with him last week. He simply said, get him a letter stating that upstairs room, which is labeled storage, we'll put a 5-foot wide cased opening on that, so there's no issue with that at all. And I sent Sari a letter stating the same.
And no closet?
Correct, no closet, and it'll be a 5-foot cased opening, so that will be just a storage room upstairs.
Thank you.
Excuse me, for clarification, a closet doesn't make a bedroom. They could have a closet in that room.
That's what was in the file.
Right, I'm just saying for clarification, a closet doesn't make a bedroom, and his thing is in the file.
Thank you, sir. Ken?
You've already addressed the issue of the extra room. Your lot coverages, just to be clear in the testimony, that is the net change after the expansion of the footprint from the construction, new construction, and the removal of the garage.
Correct. And I'm here also with Tom Bunker, who can attest to that. He did the site plan. In both cases, the lot coverage is being reduced. And I believe that's a net figure that we talked about of the reduction on that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't really have any other issues.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Kim?
When you started speaking, Peter, you said an existing shed, but that was the garage, right?
It was, yeah, they called it, I believe the town called it a garage. It really wasn't. It was the gentleman that owned the house for 50 years had built that himself. There were no interior wall studs except for every 6 feet. I mean, we didn't even want to stand in the building and as far as renovating it, it wouldn't have been possible. It was leaning to the neighbor on the left, so we applied for the permit with the building department to demolish it, and we got it out of there.
Okay. No additional structures out back, no plans for any sheds?
None, no.
Okay. And the staggering, I just want to get this on the record, because it is so close to the property line, the existing dwelling, the second floor addition is going to be set in further, is that true?
I believe on the back side of the house, there won't be any increase there because this new gable wall will end at the existing top wall. And on the front, we're not coming out any further here either, so it's in line with what's there now for front and rear wall of the house, or left and right wall of the house.
Do you know the setbacks of the second story by chance?
Well, it would be the same as the first floor.
Right, but I'm saying it's actually further away, the second story is.
Yeah, excuse me, on the front, the street side of it, it would be further away from the street, correct. As well as on the rear of that, it would be further from the rear yard line because that dormer is set in a little bit.
Right. I just didn't know if you had.
The record, Tom Bunker, the BSS design. The front setback is 6 feet to the lower portion that's going to remain, and the second floor will start up at 13.9 feet back. That's looking at this part of their house. As you see on the side, The side setback here is remaining the same as what we're showing. The second floor addition is really the floor space. The floor space is going to be back 11 feet
Okay.
from the property line.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. TJ, you have any questions for Peter or Tom?
All set?
Peter, what's going to happen in the basement? What's utilities,
There's
storage, that
an
sort of thing?
It's a small, there's one part of the basement now that is full height. The rest of it is a kind of a crawl space around the perimeter of the property, of the house. The only change in the basement is to change the furnace out to a higher efficiency unit. We're taking the chimney down, so it'll be a direct vent, high efficiency unit out the side. And that, removing the chimney will decrease that nonconformity as well. Be it only a couple of square feet, it's still a reduction. But in the basement, there's no renovations going on in the basement at all.
Just a crawl space, right?
Correct. Now, unless the town, when it comes time for the permit process, whatever the town requires as far as footings and structural issues, we'll address that with the building department, but there's no renovations planned for the basement of the building.
Okay. And you said it's going to remain a two-bedroom, right?
Correct.
Tom, is there going to be any dry wells? You know how the town feels about Great Bank Road. I'm sure.
We didn't plan on any dry wells. We're actually reducing the amount of runoff by taking the garage out. If you feel...
There are no existing dry wells now either.
No existing dry wells. I mean, the situation is improving by the work that we're doing. Is the best I can say at the moment, although because there's a paved driveway, some water goes down the street now and some will continue to go on the street.
I would feel better being that it's right on the end there, and that the sensitivity of that embankment, but see how the rest of the board feels. Tom, just a quick question. If and when they do hook up, they could be a three-bedroom though, correct? Because you can't,
I think...
you're allowed a
If it's same as
three-bedroom.
the other, they'll be allowed to go to...
Just now, because of your septic, you're a two-bedroom, okay. Anybody else have any further questions? Sari, you have any
No.
questions for Tom or Peter?
Nope.
And anybody?
We wanted some other proof that there actually was a structure there. I never realized we wanted to visit the site.
And I have the building permit here as well for that demolition, if you'd like to see this, or...
Nope.
Okay.
I think we're all set with that. Thank you, Peter. Anybody from the public like to speak on this application? Go ahead, sir, introduce yourself and give your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Robert O'Brien, 53 Montauk Street, T-Ticket. I think it's a nice design. It'll be an improvement. I just had a couple of questions with regard to the setback in the back. How many feet?
Yeah, I realized tonight it wasn't on there. It'll be from the rear step 29.1 feet from the rear of the building to the rear property line.
And that's existing, we won't be increasing that at all. That footprint won't increase towards the rear yard.
Yeah, the addition is not going closer to the backyard.
Okay, and through you, Mr. Chairman, as far as would be any accessory buildings constructed?
They said no, testimony, no more accessory buildings.
And a question on the driveway, would be that in the same location?
The driveway will be untouched, will remain the same.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Ron? Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else from the public like to speak on this application? Okay, how you guys feel? You want to close
I've heard
the hearing?
enough. Motion to close?
Mr. Foreman and Mr. Hurry to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, how would you like to proceed?
Move to approve application 8714? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, all right, so we need some findings here.
Reduction in the nonconformities in the property.
For the lot coverage,
Well, yeah, removing
No
the
more
garage.
detrimental.
meets 240-216.
That there's a 5-foot wide cased opening upstairs in that room.
Upstairs storage room will be, 5-foot
Close
cased
the hearing,
open.
Peter, so you can't speak anymore because we closed the hearing. Thank you.
That there
Do
would
we
be.
really,
oh.
do we, even though it said the closet, do we really need to enforce that? I don't think so.
To enforce what?
No, I mean, they were saying something
You
about
have no
the
enforcement
closet.
over closets.
Yeah, we just,
It doesn't make
I'm
a
happy
bedroom.
with the 5-foot cased open.
That's what I'm
All right,
saying, it
yeah.
doesn't make a bedroom, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Okay, go ahead, Kim, I apologize.
No, and just that there would be no additional accessory structures.
Bedroom count remaining at 2. Lot coverage decreasing. I really want to see
As
those,
per plan, I mean, that's basically.
I really want to see dry wells there, though, due to that road that's perpendicular to Philadelphia.
Are we in conditions or still in findings?
That would be a condition.
But Tom was amenable to that, so.
So,
Okay, a condition.
I'm
We'll jump
okay
to
It's
the
a finding
conditions.
through testimony about,
Yeah.
I'm okay with adding the drywall, myself.
Okay, so then we'll go right into conditions then. Per
One
plans.
second, David, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
excuse me.
All right, thank you.
We're on the conditions, so that's going to be a condition, Siri.
Dry wells.
Per plans.
That will create a revised plan.
Yep.
So dry wells,
As
a
per
revised plan
revised.
showing dry wells.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Kim.
No additional accessory structures.
And that cased open is going to be a condition, right, Siri?
Mhm. Cased 5-foot opening.
On that,
Storage room.
Yep.
they can come in and seek a modification once the sewer is
If
approved.
the board
they wanted to.
conditions it, if they get
Mhm.
sewered,
They can go
they
with
can get a
3
building
bedroom.
permit to make that a bedroom.
Okay.
But if you condition it, that they have to come in, then they have to.
No, why? Just because if we're going to condition the 5-foot cased opening, wouldn't them closing that in then run afoul of that without coming back?
Oh, I don't know how that would work,
Yeah.
that's
I
right.
guess
The
that
cased
become-
opening, it would change that,
Administrative
so
approval.
they could possibly do it administratively if
Okay.
the board's amenable to
Okay.
that, if the sewage,
We
if
don't
and
need to
when.
indicate
Yeah.
that in the decision, do we?
Sewage and
No.
swim.
No,
Oh, no additional structures, okay.
I think that's it then.
I agree.
Okay.
That looks, you got everything, Siri? How's that look?
Per plans, except for the revised plan, correct?
Right.
Again, did that show a 5-foot cased opening? Do you want a
It does not.
revised plan on that? On the storage
Oh.
room? That's simple enough just to give me that drawing. I didn't,
Yeah, that new storage area. Yep, Peter can handle that, I'm sure. So that revised plan for that area, and I think we're in good shape.
revised second floor plan?
Nice catch.
Yeah.
5-foot. And I'll make all those prior to the issuance of a building permit. That's it.
Okay, so that was Mr. Foreman and Ms. Spielman. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Peter, good luck to you.
Great.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
great night.
Tom.
Sorry, can I make changes to that plan or get you a new second floor page?
You're going to need a new second floor plan showing that 5-foot cased opening. And that'll be in the condition regardless if you get that to me
It's just gonna
tomorrow
be
because the board voted
you.
it.
So. That'll be a Monday.
Yeah.
So I
Don't
just
worry
want to
about it.
say.
And Tom's got a revised showing dry wells.
Do you want me to?
No, I don't.
What happened to 88?
What do
But
you mean
you're gonna
88?
make you feel better.
There's 85, 87, 89, every other one. 84.
Maybe it's still in the works. Okay.
I had all the plans, right?
Yep. Kim, would you read the next application into the record,
Yes.
please?
Ooh, sorry, I was on the wrong page. Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Mass General Laws, you are hereby notified that Richard W. and Claudia Mackin of Watertown, Mass. applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals pursuant to Section 240-3 of the Code of Falmouth for a special permit to construct addition and second floor to the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling known as 12 Nichols Road in Wacoit.
Thank you, Kim. Mr. Porcelli, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Michael Borselli from Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant, Richard and Claudia Mackin. The Mackins are in the audience tonight. If there's any questions for them. We're here tonight requesting a special permit to modify a pre-existing non-conforming structure. The structure is non-conforming in one way only, and that is it doesn't meet the required 10-foot setback to the right property line. It is 9.5 feet, which is somewhat de minimis, but still non-conforming. The application and plan is to improve the existing single-family dwelling so that the Mackins can enjoy it more on a year-round basis as a retirement home. So the renovation includes a first floor complete rework of the floor plan, incorporates a garage into the footprint. There's currently no garage, and the first floor will be redesigned and readjusted as far as the floor layout so that there can be a two-car garage with two vehicles stacked front to back. The addition, or the second story, will be where all of the bedrooms are. There's 3 bedrooms in the house now. There'll be 3 bedrooms in the house when the construction's complete. The property meets lot coverage both today and after the addition, which is a small addition at the front measuring 12 by 13 feet. The current lot coverage by structures is 16%, less than the allowed 20. With the small addition, it will increase to 17.8%. I'm sorry, 17.1%, which is still below the 20%. I had indicated that there's no plan to increase the number of bedrooms as part of this renovation. You will see in your file there's a referral from David Carradine wanting more information about the existing septic system. We intend to provide that to him. We have a few things that we have to sort out with Mr. Carradine, but we're confident that we can resolve his concerns, and he certainly wouldn't, if this board were to grant the special permit, he would not grant the building permit until we sorted out those questions. We received a referral and simply didn't have enough time to work things out with him before tonight, but I'm confident that we can do that. I think that sums it up. I believe that the renovations are consistent with other houses in the neighborhood. This doesn't create any substantial detriment to the neighborhood. The majority of the homes within this area are a minimum of 1.5 to 2-story houses, and it's very consistent. We have been to Conservation Commission. I should mention that, I guess. And the Conservation Commission closed their hearing, and they will be issuing an approval, we expect, in the next 7 to 10 days. They had some requirements, such as a limit of work to be installed and also to install dry wells. So the dry wells are proposed to collect the roof runoff after construction. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Mike, stay right there. Kim, when you get a chance, will you read the referral in, please?
Health. Quite a few lengthy health ones this week. The proposed changes to the existing structure will not result in an increase in bedrooms, but a footprint change is proposed to the front of the building. The rear of the building faces the water and is unavailable for septic upgrades in a practical sense. The applicant should demonstrate that the addition at the front does not change conditions to the extent that a future septic upgrade would require otherwise avoidable variances to be granted in order to install the upgrade. In the case where variances without the addition would already be necessary to install a septic upgrade, then the applicant should demonstrate that the addition would not increase the number of or magnitude of variances needed. I think this is, yep, engineering, standard comment, building, no comment, and planning had no comment.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Mark, do you have any questions for Mike?
Just for clarification, Concom approved, but we're just awaiting the actual order?
Yes, they have 21 days. They closed their hearing, and it has not yet been 21 days. We expect it in another week or so.
And could you just briefly, recall what they said or what the order might be? Or what was the discussion?
Standard conditions, make sure that there's a work limit on the water side, since all the work's within the footprint, except for the small addition. They wanted a little bit of native plant mitigation. This area here is a small addition, and they have a regulation that requires you to provide mitigation for increases outside of the existing footprint. So we proposed to enhance the buffer in this corner, which is a standard condition. So other than that, in the dry wells, we don't expect there to be any unique conditions.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mark. Kim, you have any questions?
No questions.
Ken?
Can you summarize for me the change in elevation and in the height now versus proposed?
Yes. I will do my best. You should have in your file the elevation plans. Basically, the house at the moment is a ranch-style house with one-story attic space, and I believe the height of the building is approximately 16 feet on the street side. One living space and then the attic area totaling approximately 16 feet. The new design, which would allow us to have a second story, would change the roof line in the overall height from 16 feet to just under 25 feet. So it's 10 feet below the maximum allowed under the zoning bylaw. Now, this is a walkout, so on the water side, the height differential, which is basically from 16 to 25, 9 feet, gets translated to the water side too. But the water side, of course, because it's a walkout, looks more dramatic as far as its height, but the overall net increase in height, front or back, is 9 feet.
So from the base of the, I guess, basement story, is that what you would call that?
The walkout story?
Yeah, walkout.
Yeah.
Then we're looking at what?
32 foot 5 feet.
All right.
Thank you, Ken. TJ, you have any questions for Mike?
No, they've all been answered.
Thanks. Mike, this plan I'm looking at, existing conditions, is this accurate to today's, if I walked out there today, this would be what I'd be looking at?
I think so, I hope so. I don't think there's any storage units out here.
So you do have, you have a paved driveway?
Yes,
Existing paved driveway?
yes.
That wasn't crushed stone, cobblestone, and?
No. Oh.
It is crushed up. It's the gravel on the driveway.
I stand corrected. I put the word paved on here.
And is it not outlined in cobblestone with a cobblestone apron?
I guess it is, yes. We don't
So
typically
this-
show that detail.
So the lot, what's the lot coverage gonna change now with the paved,
No, the driveway is going to remain the same width. In
but the
fact,
existing will change, right? What you have here.
Total lot coverage would change from pavement to gravel.
Correct?
do you, I need to check with my client. Do you want to make the driveway paved, or you want it to remain gravel?
No, I'm just going with the existing. I'm not talking about what they proposed. I'm just wondering if this existing plan's accurate.
It is, except I think I mislabeled the driveway pavement instead of gravel.
Okay.
So the change in the total lot coverage is what he's asking for,
Right,
Michael.
but I'm sure Mike's gonna come back with, the Board of Health, what you're gonna provide him. Well, we'll get to that, so I'm sure you'll be back anyway. So it's, the driveway is stone now, and the proposed is paved, I see on the existing. How long do you think it's gonna take you to get David back that information with regards to, reserve, existing?
Right. I can't accurately estimate that, because I think he wants us to uncover the system to show him where the components are. The Mackins know that it's over here, and it's not in conflict, but I think David wants us to demonstrate that. So I need to retain a septic inspector, because the town records did not show it. They couldn't find the as-built of the system, so we're going to hire a septic inspector to uncover it. So I'm probably going to need a couple of weeks, but I wanted to make the presentation and go through all the issues. In fact, I was hoping if I satisfied you with regard to zoning, that we could close and let us sort that out, because he won't let us advance to a building permit until we satisfy him. And since it wasn't really a zoning matter and relative to Title V, and I need to satisfy him to get the building permit, we were hoping that you could close and allow us to work that out with him separately. But I need some time to get it inspected. So I was hoping that you could consider that in your decision.
Okay, that office space, not your field, but I'm sure you're familiar with the plan. That changed from what? What was in there? A bathroom, I think, right?
On sheet 3 of the architectural set, there's an actual existing conditions floor layout.
No intention of that office being a bedroom, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's been designed not to meet the definition of a bedroom.
And this is going to remain a 3-bedroom?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else have any further questions? Sri, you have anything for Mike? Would anybody from the public like to speak on this application? Okay. I'd like to have just a little discussion then, I guess. Personally, I'd like to see what Concom said. Personally, I would like to see what the Board of Health has to say, because they are putting an addition on. Do they have the space to, if they do expand? I mean, like, I think Kim started out, well, there's a lot of stuff here they want, to me. Do I want to hold it up? No, but I think that's important. They're right on the water. This plan, they want, he said that they want dry wells, that sort of thing. I'd like to see what they come back and say myself, so.
We can condition dry wells.
But I don't know what it says. Yeah, we can condition that,
We
yeah.
can condition that.
Definitely.
And so that would be, I'm thinking that might be repetitive with COMCOM. But with regard to your other concerns, I'm just throwing it out there. Could it be written as a condition to say, this is all driven by approval from Board of Health, once they sit down and talk, and the orders of COMCOM? I mean, because like you
But I
said.
personally would like to see that.
I don't
But if you
feel-
guys,
yeah.
if you guys don't feel so.
I don't
then
feel that, I think it's.
That's why there's 5 of us.
I think it's partially beyond our purview. I think we
Yeah,
can condition
that's-
it so that if the other boards review what's in their purview and approve, I just don't think it makes sense to have them come back.
But they are
That's
added on.
in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I
You could
understand.
adopt like you did the last
Yeah.
application where you adopted their decision that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
But they are adding in addition, that's gonna eat up space in the front, which is the only spot they can put a septic, so that could,
But that again would be satisfied or reviewed by health. Health would.
Before it could ever get a building
Right.
permit.
And if
Right.
it didn't get approved, then really our special permit isn't.
Is moot.
Yeah.
Ken, you have any thoughts along those lines?
Yeah, I tend to agree that it's so long as we reference the other board decisions, why create an extra burden on the applicant to come?
Okay. TJ?
I agree with Ken.
Okay. You guys wanna discuss anything else on this application then? Does anybody wanna make a motion to close?
I'll move to.
I do
Oh,
have
sorry.
one more question for Mike. In your brief conversation, if you did have one, is it with David, is he urging or suggesting or requiring you to get a as-built?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all.
Can I just, I'll elaborate on that slightly. The concept is, if the system were to be upgraded someday, regardless of the addition, we still need variances from the building setback. There's just not, the geometry doesn't lend itself to meeting the setback, so addition or no addition, we need variances from the cellar wall to the septic system. So I need to convince him of that, and I think that I'm able to do that, and I think it's really a health issue, not a zoning issue.
So did somebody move to close?
I would move to close if
Okay.
anyone else is.
I'll second.
So Ms. Beeler and Mr. Cool to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we approve
I'll second.
application, what is it, 8914?
8914, yep, I'll second.
Okay, Kim, any findings you want to?
No new nonconformities. Complies with 240, 216.
Finding that the stone driveway is actually going to be gravel.
That the paved.
No, they're going to be paved.
Paved is actually
It's-
gravel.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
The pro-
confused, I'm
But it
confused
will be
about
paved.
that.
The proposed, basically per plans, it's going to, the
So
paved
it
driveway.
is-
Current driveway, I realize, is
Stone.
not paved. My question is
That's
the
gonna be paved.
proposed driveway paved?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
the plan says.
Okay,
Unless you don't want it paved.
I'm okay,
so that's not a,
as long as they retain the runoff.
No,
He
but
meant-
I
David
guess I-
brought up the fact that he wanted to see a corrected existing plan.
With the
So
proper
that
lot
can be a
coverages.
condition.
okay.
With
With
the
the-
proper lot coverages. And we did, there was testimony, Mike mentioned that they are gonna have dry wells for the runoff. That's a
By
finding.
yeah, do you want to just put a finding that it has gone to Concom and decision is pending? Or
I wanna put that in there, and then we'll adopt theirs again.
then the condition
Right.
will
Yeah,
be
condition,
different, but you do want a finding on that as well?
Yes.
And I guess as well as a finding that continued correspondence or dialogue will be with the Board of Health and Mike concerning.
That'll be a finding, yeah, that Mike has to get with the Board of Health regarding the referral and septic system.
That they're maintaining the number of bedrooms?
Mhm. Think of anything else?
Condition, do we do the conditions?
No, go ahead.
That we would adopt Concom's order.
I'm sorry, is this conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me.
Per plans,
Well,
we're gonna need
Per
per
proposed.
revised, yep.
for proposed plans,
And we're definitely gonna need an as-built, being that it's, what, 25, a little over 25 feet off the street and barely 10 off the side, a new addition.
okay, did you want your revised existing plans?
Mhm.
Showing accurate lot coverage? As built, what else was there?
You got the adoption of the Concom, and then what we're gonna
The
do with
health.
the Board of Health.
Subject to approval by the Board of Health.
Yeah, definitely.
In accordance with.
Because
the
they won't
referral.
issue a building permit without it.
Mhm.
So you want to make it contingent on Board of Health approval?
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I can't think of anything. Okay, so that was Ms. Beelan and Mr. Cool. All those in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
Mike,
for
good
your
luck getting that
cooperation.
stuff.
Thank you for your cooperation on that.
Good luck, folks, with your project. Okay, so that concludes our hearings. We still have some miscellaneous open meeting stuff. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes of October 16th?
Yeah.
The only thing we're gonna do is the verbatim. The only correction I'd want there, Siri, is at the end, you have, no one responded. I don't know if that's verbatim.
Nobody did respond.
But I don't know who said that. Who said that?
No, it's a statement, nobody responded
But
to
we
you.
wanted it verbatim. I would want that scratched.
Where is it?
It's just a notation that there wasn't any. I could put it in parentheses. Because otherwise it looks like we've just dumped the rest of it, but nobody responded.
Yeah, but
No,
we wanted it verbatim, but so that would.
That is
would
verbatim.
That would imply somebody would
No.
make a statement.
it's, I'll put it in parentheses if it's not. Nobody responded, plain and simple.
I think it makes sense to have something there, otherwise it does look like
Just
you had a
parentheses or
question and
Parentheses work
maybe
for you
something
then?
got cut off. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, that works for me.
You got that?
Does it, so who was here for that? I know I was here for
I was
October
here.
16th.
It says on the minutes there.
Oh, sorry.
So who can vote on this, Kim? So long ago, I
My
forget.
apologies. Ken was not
I
here.
was not here.
No, so it's just Mark, you, and me.
We can do that.
That's the majority, yes.
Okay, so all those in favor of approving the minutes of October 16th, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, now the minutes of November 6th.
That's the one that I have to abstain from.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're saying you're unanimous, but there was an abstention, right?
There was an,
Oh,
In
two
the prior
abstention.
vote.
Oh, yeah, so two abstained,
right.
two present.
And Mark was absent on November 6th, but Ken, David, and Kimberly were here.
Outstanding.
So,
So did you get a chance to peruse those and?
I really didn't, if you want to know the truth.
We did.
Yeah, could have kept that to yourself.
They don't want to know the truth.
We did, and we think they're.
Don't ask.
We did, and we think they were fine, so,
yeah.
those approve the
So
minutes
is
of November 6th, say aye.
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 Do you abstain?
You can't.
Can't.
Do I have to vote yes?
Do you want to wait until?
It's up to
Vote
you.
yes, do what you want. Go for it.
I think they were great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right.
So 2 abstentions and 3.
Okay,
Mark Cooler.
thank you very much. That'll leave number 2. Board determination of insubstantial comprehensive permit 61-11, conditions 10 and 13.
And finding 13.
And finding 13.
Yes.
And I know
I kept doing that.
Sari emailed
in
us
emails.
a bunch of stuff on that. So Sari, would you want to just summarize that? I realize Laura and Linda are here, but
Right, the request is to eliminate finding number 13, because it's covered already. Let me see, let me get my notes, excuse me, 1 second. Finding 13 is relative to condition 3 with no change, so you need to, the finding's not correct for condition 13, and condition 10, it's just fixing the language in there consistent with 760 CMR 5604, is it 04 or 05? Pretty much it. I was a little confused when I first got it, but I did sit with Brian Curry and we went over it.
I know you said you were going to send it over for Pat Harris's review. Did you do that, and or
Yes,
did
it
it
went
come
to
back?
Pat Harris.
Did
and
she
it
give
came
it her
back-
blessing?
Yes, it's all fine, yes.
Because I wasn't in the last.
760 CMR 560512B.
Excellent. She's happy with it. You're feeling good.
Yes, the monitoring or the town's happy with it.
And this, I'm assuming, is the desire of the
The
applicant.
finding 13 of the comprehensive permit, this is in conflict with the affordability requirements of condition 3.
Okay. You want anybody?
So I just have to amend the decision, removing that finding and straightening out the language in condition 10 that makes it pursuant to
Let's see.
the regulation.
And it's just whether we think that's insubstantial, is really what we're voting on.
Correct. But just to clarify what you're
Right.
voting on. I think that's all that's necessary, right, Laura?
Okay, then. So, does anybody want to make a motion that this is insubstantial?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, is that the right terminology? I
Yes,
hope
that it's
all-
insubstantial.
Okay, all those in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Opposed, unanimous.
And I will amend
Read the
that
letter.
decision, send it to Laura, and it will be filed with the registry, correct, Laura?
Yes, for the record, Laura Moynihan. Yes, it does need to get recorded, but I think you need to vote your approval now of those changes. You've voted the change to be insubstantial, which means it doesn't require a public hearing for you to vote approval. Now I think you need a second vote to say that you're approving the changes to the permit.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure.
That work for you? Kim?
Oh, yeah. Vote to approve the changes to the permit as Sari described.
Eliminating finding 13 and changing the language in condition 10.
And Pat's good with,
Yes.
okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, that's Ms. Beelen and Mr. Cool again. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you,
All
Laura.
right, Linda, good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
This was the OSH.
Okay, future agenda items, you guys, TJ, this is where, if you have anything that you'd like to see on the agenda brought up or whatever, mention to zoning administrator Sari, she'll get that on there. Update on the joint meeting with the planning board. I still think we're trying to find a time, and but it's
No,
gonna
it's-
happen.
No, I explained to you, I believe, the ad hoc committee that they're suggesting you were going to get with Pat Kerfoot and
But
have
I-
you guys meet, and then the boards will meet in January.
The only problem is our ad hoc committee, we have one
Well,
member. We have one member now.
I
with
miss,
that.
excuse
It's you.
me.
That's me.
Excuse me, I misspoke.
I'm feeling
The
very
two
ad hoc.
chairmans get together and discuss it, and then distribute it to the board, and then we're hoping to have a joint meeting in January or February.
Sounds good.
But me, I feel more comfortable as meeting as a board, in a board, as opposed to, I'm kind of seems like we're putting the cart before the horse.
You're
That was,
saying-
that was at the suggestion of,
Yeah, that was a
Well,
suggestion, Siri.
That will narrow down what we talk about, right?
Right, the
At the
purpose is
board
to
meeting.
formulate the agenda.
Right.
that's why I
So I
think it's
think it would be
important for the two
helpful. But remember-
chairmans to sit and talk, and he needs to
I mean, you can take
say,
our,
this is
you can
what
take our
the board wants.
recommendations
Yeah.
Well,
as the chair.
I think, how long have we been trying to get this to happen?
I
Maybe
think
6 months or
that's-
so?
Yeah, I mean, that's been an issue with timing though, right?
that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I don't think the board's changed their mind about what they want. It's just up to him
That's true.
to meet with that chairman and say, this board wants what we talked about and what the town
Okay, so
meeting
what are
was,
those things? Have we reviewed? what they-
Exactly.
the whole review.
So, they already know, but I'll touch base.
Okay.
Because I just had I mean, besides the bylaw review, right, we were talking, that
That
you're
was-
saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get
It's
into that. I'm
basically
just
the whole-
basically, it's gonna be,
Bylaw review and
The one issue
Change.
that, in particular, that I was championing, which came up tonight with the Spall hearing, you were talking about 24099, which doesn't apply to, you know, subdivisions, you have to have a subdivision,
it's,
5
it
acres or
applies to
more, 5 lots.
subdivisions only.
It's clear as a bell in that bylaw.
not to me, it wasn't.
It is.
Well, that's one of the things we'll be discussing.
I remember when that bylaw was written. That's unambiguous. The bylaw was intended, for Coastal Pond Overlay District bylaw was intended for subdivisions, when there still were subdivisions. The
Okay.
question is, should the zoning bylaws be changed in any way so that under 24216, where it says adequacy of the method of sewage disposal, the word nitrogen gets in there somewhere.
Right.
And that would do it.
Yeah, those are the types of things, so
Well, not only that, just the conflict.
Yeah.
There's so many conflicts in it.
there's a ton of them.
Oh, there's a million other things, but I'm just saying, in terms of substantive issues.
So keep jotting down your
Which would have
issues.
quite a big impact.
Send them, forward them to me and/or Sari, and we'll compile it and make sure your voice is heard.
I want to.
And like I said, just don't say Coastal
Excuse
Pond
me,
Overlay
please-
District.
Please send them to me so it doesn't look like any type of collusion. I'll forward them all to
Okay.
David.
Yeah, just don't say Coastal Pond Overlay District or denitrification systems. Have a little more,
I'll
have
send
a little
I'll send an
more basis.
extremely articulate email to Sari.
Okay, great. And is there any correspondence, Sari, or board,
I
any
want-
board comment?
I just wanted to say, and I know we would say this before, welcome to TJ, obviously. Happy to have you on board, and if anyone's still watching, we still have an associate position, which it's important to fill because Patty is on leave.
Nice
So,
job.
you know, even, you know, some of the applications tonight, Cumberland Farm, the applicants need all 4 votes, and so
Right.
it would be nice to have somebody else.
Yeah.
I would just relate to the board that I had 2 neighbors this week approach me to see what the status of the zoning code review or modification was.
Huh.
That's interesting.
And I said,
Yeah, well, that's,
Did you tell them
I'll
the
get back
wheels,
to you.
the government wheels turn slow? Okay, then, with that, I'll adjourn the meeting.